1% less. There's no hidden fees and no membership fees, just one low, transparent price. And the process is 100% online. If prescribed, your personalized plan ships free directly to your door. Get started at forhers.com/start to access affordable doctor-trusted weight loss plans that put you first. That's forhers.com/start. FORHERS.com/start.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake.
Yeah, we got something we're really excited about. We were going to save it, but I don't think I can wait, Jay. Before we get to that, Kyle Draper not with us today. He should be back Friday. I know I'm not sure where he went. Maybe you know, Jay, and it's nobody's business, but I know he was talking about taking a trip, maybe going to Mexico or something. The reason I bring that up, I don't know about you, but obviously I want to explain where he is. But if you're on a nice trip, like somewhere warm, and, he's got to work Friday, this is a day, right? Well, I'll just speak for myself, where I start thinking, man, I almost got to go home. Are you like that?
I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
That's when you know what me and my wife do, and we have a bad habit of this. We look at each other and like, you know what? Maybe we should just stay one more day.
Yeah.
Straight to the hotel, front desk, Airbnb. Like, yeah, I think we're going to stay one more day.
Yeah, you're going to go somewhere like that. And like for 3 weeks ahead of time, it's like, this is great. And you get there and you got like 2 or 3 days left. It's like, oh, man, I got to go home for this.
It always flies by, too.
Yeah,
it's always quick, big time.
It's a terrible way to look at it, but I'm working on it. I find if you're at the airport, you got to pick somebody up, and you're just waiting there. And then a plane comes in from like Hawaii. You will never see more depressed people in your life than the people coming back, especially if it's in the dead of winter or something.
Yeah.
They're coming back from Hawaii. It's like,
they got on shorts and a T-shirt. You out there in a sweatsuit and a jacket.
Yeah. But anyway, Drape should be back with us Friday. He and I will be at the
allegedly
Golden One Center.
Well, no, he'll be out there because of the game.
Yeah.
If there wasn't no game, he wouldn't be back.
Mm-hmm. Jay, the Kings got to hit the ground running, don't they? I mean, you're back, and then you got a game against the Warriors, a huge game with the team that you're tied with. So then they got Charlotte. They got a couple of potentially easy games in there, but that first game back is a very big one.
Yeah, well, it is because, it's the Warriors. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's no bigger than one game, though. I'm not going to sit around here and blow it up like we playing in the playoffs. It's one game. Get it because you're in the Pacific, division.
Yeah.
And you're in the Western Conference. Keep those guys behind you, and that's why it's a decent-sized game. And you just, as you said, you want to get out on the right foot.
Yeah, and you want to show that you got something done over the break. Maybe you don't care what the basketball world at large thinks of you, but for your own sake, everyone wants to start feeling better about things. So hopefully –
think they feel bad?
Well, not bad, but just uncertain. Okay. To me, the way I see him play, and it's understandable, like down the stretch of that Pelicans game, they'd won 3 in a row, but they lost that one, and it looked like down the stretch it's still a matter of we're just not sure what we're doing.
Yeah, figuring it out.
Gotcha. And I think sometimes that makes it look like, well, they're not playing aggressively, which is true, but it's just because they're not sure yet. So hopefully that continues to improve. Now, we've talked a lot about the All-Star game, and one of the things Jay and I talked about last week, one of the issues with the All-Star game is All-Star games, you go back to the original All-Star game, baseball, 1933, it was for the fans. Here's a game for the fans. And now All-Star games are not for the fans. They're for the players, and there are opportunities for the leagues to take money from the fans. Okay, that's the way it goes. But Jay and I, yesterday after the show, putting our heads together, which is very dangerous, and we decided we wanted to do something for fans. So, and we're still working on it, and we're just getting started here. And this is something that we're going to be doing over a period of time. But I think, Jay, if we're on the same page, we're talking about putting together not an all-star team, but an all-fan team, kind of an all-star team of fans.
Yes, sir. All-fan team. The Drive Guys all-fan team. I'm excited, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing a lot of research on what makes a fan the perfect fan, a good fan, a top-notch fan, someone you want to, call a fan or call a part of your fandom,
Right.
meaning a part of your squad, part of your crew, part of the King's Kingdom type. So I say, or, the Hornets Stingers up.
Yeah.
What's the Hornets fan club called?
I don't know.
I would have to find that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's UC Davis? The Herds? The Herd? I have no clue.
Yeah. We'll
Kyle, you're from UC Davis. What do you guys call yourself?
Fan club? Oh, you mean like the fan base?
Yeah. Like, what do you guys call yourself? Oh, they see what I'm saying? He went over there, stole a diploma. No, they stole it from him. They went over there and grabbed the diploma. Don't even know what they're calling themselves.
Well, one of the things that if you can be proud of such a thing, one of the things I'm proud of in regards to this is, I think, Jay, again, we're still figuring this out, but it's not just for Kings fans.
No,
we love Kings fans,
absolutely not.
But there are fans of other teams.
Please.
And, we always like to say, you like that team, boo. But there's something cool about really rooting for a team, even if it's a team that we don't like. And I'm not going to mention any of those teams, but it's
I will. Not play.
But we're looking for fans, whatever team you're a fan of. We're going to get a lot of Kings fans, and that's great. But we don't want to exclude anybody who, for whatever reason, happens to root for the Suns or the Thunder or even their worst teams again, but I'm not going to mention them.
Sure.
So that's one of the things I think is kind of cool about this.
Oh, absolutely. But and let me make sure
fan recognizes fan.
That's right. Let me double down on it for you. Just because you're a Kings fan don't mean you're going to be part of this all-star team.
Right.
No, that's not what it is. Be a fan of who you are a fan of. It could be the Eagles. As much as I don't like it, I'm going to respect it. Yeah. Well, see, I'll say it. I'm not running from it. I don't care about the Fly Eagle Fly people, but I respect you. If you are born and raised an Eagles fan, you haven't flip-flopped to 16 different teams, you haven't thrown down your colors at 3 different opportunities throughout your fandom of that team, then let's talk. So I'm ready to respect all fan clubs, all fans of every single, you could be, we have our morning show producer, assistant PD here, Chris Verlade. He's into soccer a lot of times. I know he was a huge Boston Red Sox fan at one point in time. Didn't like the way the organization was being ran a handful of years ago. I don't know if he's thrown down his colors, but I do know he's not as a huge fan of the Red Sox as he once was. So we got to take that into consideration. There's going to be some criteria here laid out, Whitey.
Yeah. And we'll explain, why it's going to be worth your time, but we just want to give you a heads up. We're doing that so you can think about that, but we're very excited about that. That should be a lot of fun. By the way, thank you to Syrian via Vicencio. Okay. I apologize if I didn't say that right. Syrian via Vicencio. The Aggie Pack. According to Syrian,
the Aggie Pack.
That's what, and I don't know if that's just
a
suggestion or.
Yeah, let me check that out. We might have to, I'm not saying I don't trust you, Syrian, but I gotta follow up on that. We got to be true journalists and make sure that's right.
Yeah, if it's not that, maybe it should be, right?
Yeah, I like that actually.
Yeah, so that's one of the things we're going to get rolling today. Just giving you a heads up. To me, it comes down to 3 basic questions. I'd love to know what you think of these, Jay. I know we went over this earlier, but to me, it comes down, and there's lots of other things we're going to look at, but to me, it boils down to 3 things. How good of a fan are you? Well, you got to answer these questions. How and why did you become a fan of your favorite team?
Okay.
You don't have to answer now. We're just throwing this out there. We're not asking you to respond. How and why did you become a fan of your favorite team? A lot of times, like, well, my family, we all root for the Kings. I was brought up into it. And that's certainly a legitimate, reasonable answer. 2, what does it mean to you to be a fan of a particular team? Because people do have different definitions, right?
Sure.
Some people's like, well, if the team's winning and I'm having fun watching it, then I'm a fan. And for other people, it's like, no, that ain't it. You got to root for your team no matter how they're doing. And then 3rd and finally, what is unique, what is notable, what is most significant about your particular fandom? Something you did for your team, somewhere you went, something just how long you've been rooting for them, whatever it is. So to me, those are 3 of the most important factors we'll be looking at when we pick our all-fan team, and we wish good luck to everybody.
And that's the great part about it is we have, as of right now, as we continue to piece this together, cobble this together, we know us 3, the drive guys, will be the voters.
Yeah.
But we may figure out how do we include the fans, just like the NBA All-Star fan voting. Maybe you'll get a quarter of the percentage of some sorts. But I like that because those are your criteria pieces.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a few different criteria pieces that, it's only going to sit for me. And I would imagine Drapes are. I'll lay one or two out for myself. For me, it's knowledgeable, passion, and consistency. They all kind of fit together. I don't want you to claim you are a fan and I ask you give me your starting 5 on the roster for NBA. If you right. If you can't pronounce a player's name properly, that's simple, Robert Swift, because you don't know it, I'm gonna have an issue there. I'm gonna have to question your fandom there, Whitey.
Okay.
So that's one of mine. The other one for me is, and I heard where you went, longevity.
Yeah.
You're talking to a fan of the Oakland Athletics, aka the Sacramento Athletics, aka the A's, the capital A's, whatever we want to call them. There's not a lot of, in my lifetime, first of all, winning. There's not a lot of trophy hoisting. And there's not a lot of consistency of being in the top, of MLB. And so it's tough being an A's fan, especially in my generation. And if you come under me, let's just say you're in your 20s, you really haven't seen anything. At least I had an opportunity to see one championship when I was 4 years old.
But you didn't go wandering off when they fell on hard times. You didn't go wandering off to become a fan of the orange and black or anything like that.
Please, no. I couldn't even bring it to my soul.
You weren't wearing a split cap.
Nah.
Half Giants, half A's.
I wasn't Dale Curry with Seth and Steph. And then for me, the other one too is I just want to, the passion behind it. And we'll get into a few different aspects of my criteria. And there's going to be some things that I'm going to deduct and, some things that I'm going to add to your value. And so we'll dive in that as we move forward as the announcement of all-star team Drive Guys presentation.
Looking forward to it. And I'm so excited about it. We didn't know when we were going to talk about it. And I was like, I got to talk about it.
Let it go, brother. Ain't no need to hide our hands.
When we come back, we'll look at the Kings' place in the High Expectations Club. Kings have high expectations for the rest of the year, but there's a lot of teams that can say that, and the Kings are battling a lot of those teams. We'll dive into that when we come back. It's the Drive Guys. Glad you're with us on Sacktown Sports.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Lowe's knows that your business is built on speed and trust. That's why the Lowe's Pro Desk is here to get you what you need the moment you need it. We'll help you plan your project, calculate your materials, and pivot when your job takes an unexpected turn. And with our pro-only checkout and dedicated pro parking, you have what you need to tackle your job and be back on the job in no time. Just visit us at the Pro Desk. Lowe's knows pros. We help. You save.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Jay and White Tay, how about this, Jay? In the chat from Connor Bell.
Connor Bell, shouts out.
Connor Bell says, I swear on everything, Jay was wearing an orange Giants hat the other week.
You called me out on that. You called me out on that.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. Remember I had
But it wasn't a Giants cap, right?
No, it was. And it was
but I thought that too, Connor, but Jay corrected me.
Yeah, it was a SF hat that I got from one of my guys, and I won't say his name because he's a celebrity, and it's his brand.
Oh, yeah,
and it's a spin-off of a Giants hat.
Right. Pretty close, Connor.
Yeah,
Connor, basically, you're right, but Jay's not.
And remember, you came up to me, it's like, what in the hell is that?
I did.
You was like, I know you aren't wearing a San Francisco Giants hat. And I was like, I know. It's close. I get it. I was representing my friend.
I came in there off the air, huh?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So he kind of did, but.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm not rocking no San Francisco Giants hat like that.
But it's about as close as it.
Yeah, I was at the game. A couple of people actually came up to me and asked that too. And I was like, you know what? I text my boy. Actually, I might still have that text probably. I text my boy. I say, yeah, dog, you got to change that, man. You got to change that. Yeah, shouts out to my folks. Now, shouts out to my folks at Mint Worldwide. That's the company out in San Francisco. But yeah. And I was like, dude, it looks too close.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is a new era hat.
Yeah.
It is, I was like, oh, you're killing me.
Have you seen the hats the Giants are wearing for spring training? Because it's just.
You know what? I think I did. I didn't pay attention.
You know, the Giants, the regular season, have black hat, orange letters, orange button, sometimes the orange bill.
Right.
Spring training, it's just reversed.
It's black.
So it's orange with black letters and a black button.
Let me see.
And a black bill.
I could have swore I just looked at one of the young players talking. I'm gonna pay attention right now. Hold on.
He might have been wearing one of the other hats, but for their spring training hats, because I saw Bob Melvin talking a couple days ago. It's the regular hat, just the colors are reversed.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at it right here. Yeah, I see it.
So it's very similar to what you were wearing.
That's exactly, exactly. See, my boy set me up, and he must have known they were coming with these color hats.
Yeah.
And
you were wearing a Giant spring training hat, and you didn't even
know it, man. I'm gonna have to shake him out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to shake him out. I can't have that. I can't have it.
Yeah.
And I was showing love. Again, at one point in time, we had a little business going on, things like that, and got a call, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna rock a little hat. Next thing you know, now I'm out here getting my files checked.
Yep. So Connor Bell was on the money.
He was spot on. Yes.
H. Bong says, let's all root for the Kings to lose so they keep their first round pick in a very loaded 2025 draft. Well, H. Bong, and if anybody knows that you do, there's been some talk to you. I don't know how much of this you've heard, but for a long time, this is going to be the greatest draft ever. And now, and it's not that unusual, now it's more like, well, maybe not. So the reason I bring it up, and that happens a lot. Like, this is a great draft. And then a few months later, yeah, not so much. The scouts aren't so crazy about it. So I don't know, but I mentioned it because Brendan Marks from The Athletic is going to join us about an hour from now. And so we'll ask him about that. That happens a lot with drafts.
Yeah,
it's the greatest draft ever. 2 weeks later, this draft's horrible.
Everybody's short, not as quick. Lateral movement isn't as best as we thought it was going to be, as good as we thought it was going to be. Yeah, 100%. You're right. And I got confirmation. It is the Aggie pack.
Okay.
I just want to make sure. Let's see if this is if this constitutes as their actual fan base or just the students alone. It says, according to UC Davis, and I'm reading it, the UC Davis student section is called the Aggie pack. So now, is that the students or are those the actual fans?
From what you read, it sounds like that's the students that are. Yeah, we can, just going to know Scott Marsh, who went there and has been covering
sources.
Yeah.
Well, I have another source who just told me that students at UC Davis don't even care about sports anyway. They focus on the books, academics. Sources tell me that.
Was that him? Was that
sources tell me that. That's all I'm saying. I don't reveal my sources.
I got you. Banter says, I can't stand baseball, but the OG black cap with the orange SF is hard. Yeah. But now they reversed that.
Who said that?
That's Banter the Young.
Let me start checking deducted points. real quick. Duck that real fast. No.
Connor Bell says, I thought he lost a bet.
No, hell no.
No, that's right. I forgot about it. I did. I went in there during a commercial and I was like, Jay,
what in the hell is that? And I was like,
livid.
Dude, this is my guy's hat. I'm gonna have to get my guy on. He's gonna have to come on and be my lawyer for me at this point. I was like, no, man, I'm not wearing it. And on top of that, when I got to the house, I didn't really pay attention. I got so many hats, man. I'm blessed in that form. And I'm a hat guy. It's just one of my vices, right? And so I go home and I look and I was like, oh man, this thing is a New Era too. Like he went into business with New Era, got it licensed and all that. And when I was popping the tags and everything off of it, I was like, oh man, he did a good job with this. And then I looked, and right under like the SF, you see it has like his company brand and all that, but it's very small. So he did it strategically. I'm gonna have to check him about that.
I had something happen this weekend regarding Giants hats, and I'm not sure I did the right thing. We were visiting family, and unfortunately, my brother-in-law a while ago he had passed, and I'm still all dealing with that. He was a wonderful guy, he's a good friend of mine, and so his wife, my sister-in-law, she has a bunch of his hats. He was a golfer, and just this weekend, she's like, "Hey, we have all these hats. You wear hats sometimes. You want any of these hats?" And I looked at her, and about 4 of them were Giants hats, and I said, I don't need any Giants hats.
That's right.
And I don't think I don't know if that's really what I should have said there, Jay.
Well, you was being true to yourself.
Yeah, I think so. And I think Mike would have appreciated that.
You're the type of fan that moves right up my list. That's the type of fan I'm looking for to be on my all-star team. I'll take you anywhere, even down, and this is not a laughing matter, but even down to leaving here, your physical body. You're like, nah.
I think Mike would have like, you shouldn't have those hats. So,
and he knows you're a fan of, that you're not a fan of the Giants.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. But we're all Kings fans, right? Or most of us. And Jay, you look at the standings right now, and we've been spending a lot of time looking at them. You got the Kings at 28-27. You got the Warriors at 28-27. My point is, the Kings are under a lot of pressure. Would you agree? To get into the playoffs, get into the play-in, get into the playoffs. If they don't, then this season is probably going to be viewed widely as a big failure. Would you agree with that? Fairly or unfairly? This team doesn't get in, at least to the play-in.
Yes.
And probably doesn't get into the playoffs. People are going to look at that as like, wow, that was a big zero.
Yeah.
But I think the Warriors are saying pretty much the same thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, Draymond saying we're going to win the championship. They're 28-27. You got the Phoenix Suns at 26-28 with all their big money superstars. They're facing the same situation. You don't even get into the play-in. Massive, massive failure. The Spurs made the big trade. They signed Chris Paul. They bring in De'Aaron Fox. They're not playing well. They've lost 7 of 10. If they don't get in at least to the play-in, that's a massive failure. So you got not enough spots for these teams. Some teams are going to be very, very bitterly disappointed when this is all said and done.
Well, I just hope it's not us. But yes, wholeheartedly. And as you go through that list,
you can add Dallas to that too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Especially making a trade and coming out and saying, what the general manager has said. And now the tea leaves are starting to be read that they quote unquote said defense is going to win them a championship. Especially coming off a finals run last year, Western Conference Finals 2 years ago. They sure better make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, or at least the play-in,
right,
it's definitely going to be looked at as a failure of a season. I'll say this, though. Of all the teams that you named, the Suns, for me, have to be the organization and the team that probably is looking at themselves in the mirror. They've went all the way in.
Yeah.
All the way in.
Every time they ran up against an obstacle, it's like, all right, we're going to double down on that. And we're going to triple down on that. And now they may not be able to do that anymore.
Yeah, very true. And I mean, to go to the point of getting Bradley Beal, saying we're going to wait till he's healthy. They got rid of a few other players. They say Trey Jones is a guy. He's a pure point guard. He's going to run our team. He's going to execute. And then on top of that, to start this year all over and think that they would have good health, at least be wishing and praying on good health, and for the health not to be good, sustainable as they move forward. And as we looked in the first half of the season, they're definitely gonna have a recap at the end of this season if they don't make the play in, and it's gonna say F, a big fat fail.
Yes, that's where we are with multiple teams here, right? Unless there's a bunch of teams that right now are sitting in playoff position that just en masse collapse and drop to the bottom, which is unlikely. We're going to have multiple teams in the West that are dealing with massive failures for their seasons.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a couple of teams who has something they could say, hey, listen, we threw a monkey wrench into the game, and this is what happened. And maybe the Kings can say that. We let go of our coach early on in the season. We implemented an interim coach, which we all know there's high percentage that normally doesn't pan out to be the best decision during a season. And then on top of that, it's like, look, we traded our star. Even though we recouped another star, it's going to take us an off season and/or a little more than half the season to really tighten things up. So I could see certain teams kind of maybe make some excuses internally.
They'll spin it. Sure. Yeah. And then Jay sent me this. I hadn't seen this. Maybe you've seen it. Rick Welts, Mavericks CEO. He's not the owner. He used to be with the Warriors for a long time. He's been in the NBA a long time, but Mavericks CEO Rick Welts, according to Sports Illustrated, says he, quote, probably underestimated the reaction, end quote, from Mavs fans.
Yeah, he's a fool.
Trade.
That's a fool mentality. I tell you that much. For that man, and I don't equate having, being wealthy as being successful in every single aspect of your life. But if you thought that you were going to trade a mega superstar, international star, a guy like Luka Doncic, and you don't think you're going to get any negative feedback, especially spinning him for the likes of Anthony Davis, who has respect in the league, but has also had a lot of health issues, and the NBA circles have nicknames for him, street clothes, and have different jokes. If you thought you weren't getting anything less than a Wemby and or a Giannis or somebody like that coming back for Doncic, you're an absolute fool, man.
I wonder if that's a guy who's taking a bullet for the ownership.
Probably.
It's like, oh yeah, I didn't know. When he was probably like screaming at the top of his lungs, "You can't trade Luka!" Sometimes that's what those guys.
But you know what? Why say that then? Why not spin it another way?
Well, first of all, we don't know for a fact that's what he did, but that's my theory. If you do that, it's because you're trying to kind of take some of the burden off the owner. Oh, I underestimated it. It's not going to work because fans are like, yeah, whatever. He's the owner. He's the one that traded him.
Yeah.
But that would be I guess. And maybe he's just being, 100% honest. And maybe he thought, maybe he didn't realize it was going to be this bad. It's hard to believe, though.
Yeah.
Because again, this guy's been in the league a long time, and he's no dummy.
And if that's 100% honesty, then that to me kind of showcases that, the ownership, the board of directors on some of these organizations, they're out of touch. They're out of touch then. If we're holding him to face value, and that is the complete honest truth, then that's what fans complain about, the type of people who own and organize and operate these teams.
Yeah, right. And speaking of failures, the Mavericks are going to have to do more than get into the playoffs for their fans to go, all right, good season, because they were in the finals last year. They traded Luka. So this it's going to be a long road back to getting into the good graces of their fans for them if they ever get there. When we come back,
trade for somebody.
Yeah. Rich Paul had some things to say about De'Aaron's move to San Antonio. We'll tell you what he said when we come back. It's a Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with the California Army National Guard. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
This 49er Injury Report is brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. After an injury-plagued 2024 season, which ended 6-11 and out of the playoffs, the 49ers will focus on getting healthy in the offseason. Running backs Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, and Isaac Guerrero all suffered season-ending injuries. Left tackle Trent Williams' ankle kept him out late in the year, and Brock Purdy missed the season finale with a hurt elbow. 49ers hope to enter 2025 with a full roster back intact.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, tell me what's happening for the President's Day sales event.
Right now, save thousands and thousands more in the years to come when you save up to $14,000 off MSRP on all remaining new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe plug-in hybrids.
Chad, on all remaining 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe plug-in hybrids?
Yes, all of them. And with 56 MPGE, you'll love hauling the family around in one of America's favorite SUVs. Plus, you can't miss the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter with over 220 vehicles available and 40 starting under $20,000.
Don't miss your chance to save. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
14,000 total net savings on all remaining new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe plug-in models after 8,500 factory rebates and 5,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 500 first responder bonus cash for eligible members. At least 5 of this net savings. See dealer for details.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring the Honda Civic, Honda Accord, and Honda CR-V. Honda Accord wins for a record 39th time. You can see and drive all the new 2025 award-winning models at Elk Grove Honda and see why Honda cars and trucks continue to impress the critics. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Give me all the chicken heads from Pasadena to Medina. Bet big, get in between you, then peep the prognosis, doses, blends and bends like Twizzlers.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
Got some people here in the chateau wondering about, well, you know what they're wondering about. TR. What was Whitey's fake radio name the other day?
Stretchy B. Stretch Bergmeyer.
Now the rest of the story.
Okay.
They wanted me to be Stretch Bergmeyer, and I said, yeah, no. Like, what are you going to be then? Well, when I was a kid, they called me Whitey Gleason. Okay. So that was fine. But they also, my first radio job, they had me doing the sports once an hour and helping out with the show and doing funny stuff. Also, once an hour, I had to get on this microphone and do the traffic.
Okay.
And so I was officer. My character was officer. They said, what's your middle name? I said, my middle name is Michael. All right, you're Officer Mike. And what is your mother's maiden name? I said, Lundberg. All right, you're Officer Mike Lundberg.
Sounds like a highway patrolman if I've ever heard one.
So that was my other. That will go to Officer Mike Lundberg. And I was on, and they said, just talking a monotone. No one will know it's you. This was in San Francisco, mind you. This wasn't, somewhere in Montana.
This wasn't Billings, huh?
So whenever I did, and there's a stall on the Bay Bridge, I just had to talk like that. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's good. Officer
monotone, just monotone.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. And then no one will know it's you. They're gonna know it's me because it's me. No, and no one ever
I was gonna say that everyone
cared. I don't think anyone ever listened to.
Because ain't nobody listening.
Yeah, Officer Mike Lundberg.
They worried about if I'm gonna be stuck on the 280.
That's right. That's right. So I was not Stretch Bergmeyer, but I was Officer Mike Lundberg.
So not only are you stretching me, you Michael Lundberg,
officer, sir. I'll have you remember. I don't know, officer of what? I don't know.
Honorary officer.
They never said. I guess I was.
Why did you have to be an officer? Why couldn't you just be a traffic anchor?
Jay, I was just starting out. There was not a lot I could say. I'm lucky I got out of being Stretch Bergmeyer. You're Officer Mike Lundberg. Okay. I think that's a terrible idea, but all right, I'll do it.
How long did they last? How long were you
Officer Mike?
Officer Lundberg?
He wasn't. I think he got drummed out of the Corps after probably 6 months or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's an extended period of time.
I was still there doing the other stuff, but I didn't do and then the people in the newsroom would try to make me laugh because they knew I was supposed to talk like this.
Monotone,
and they would do stuff to me, and so that was kind of my initiation into radio.
Dude, we're gonna have to do a mock traffic update with Mike Lundberg.
Jay, officer, you got to get. That's very important. Not just Mike Lundberg.
I got
officer.
you. Well, okay, Officer Lundberg. Yeah, I'll keep my personal thoughts to myself.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. Is that impersonating an officer? Farmer Bleezy wants to know. Not really, because I never said what I was an officer of. Could have been like the Salvation Army.
Yeah,
never.
That's right. You're right. Very true.
Yeah. So it's a gray area there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were your bosses thinking at the time?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was probably a sponsored element. It must have been,
that it had to be from an officer.
And then we'll get our $100 a show from whoever. So who's going to do traffic? Oh, Stretch will do it. Who's Stretch? Whitey. Oh, is he Stretch or Whitey? Kevin. Okay. Kevin, you're now Mike. What?
Like 14 names in the office.
That's all true.
Man, Officer Mike Lundberg. Okay.
Yeah, there's a backup on the Bay Bridge right now. The left lane is blocked. And then I just read whatever it was.
Whatever's on there. Who was putting together for you? Who was putting that report together for you?
Well, I think there was a
was there a service you guys were using or something?
Was like like wire service. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe there was a producer who would check on like if there was something more urgent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Actually look it up.
Yeah. So this was a radio station where they played music and they had a full-on newsroom.
Really?
Yes. They had anchors. They had like 3 anchors and producers. And that's the way it was.
Is the station still with us?
No, it was KYUU FM.
KYUU.
I think now it's 99.7. I think that's KFRC FM, but I'm not sure. It was owned by NBC, and then NBC sold all their radio stations.
Yeah, they did.
When they did that, they needed a job, and I came up to Sacramento. So there you go. Stretch Bergmeyer, yes, and I hadn't told you about Officer Mike
KYUU 99.7?
99.7 FM.
Yeah. I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
On Bush Street. That's San Francisco. That was
the Unplugged 99.7 KYUU radio archive. Yeah. There's 1988-89. Don Blue and Vicky Jenkins.
Yes,
you know
Jenkins.
That name?
Yeah,
Jenkins?
I worked with. Yeah, they were. Yeah, that was the show I was on.
Oh, that was the show you were on?
Yes.
Oh, we might. We might have some archives. We might have some archives.
I've said far too much.
Don Blue, Rick Shaw.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do my research. Oh yeah. Now if I hear Officer Mike Lundberg, then I know who it is.
Yeah. Rick Shaw, I don't know if he's still with us. He was always very nice to me. I think one time he was running into the studio because the music was running out and he had to get back on the air, and I think he slipped and he cracked his head open or something.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was a Bay Area legend. Very nice guy. Yeah. Rick Shaw. Anyway, Jay, how about Rich Paul? Rich Paul was on. See, now Jay is looking up on the stuff. I lost Jay for the rest of the show.
No, I'm gonna do my job.
Rich Paul was on Gil's Arena, and he was talking mainly about the Luka thing. and explaining how he had no idea what was going to happen. But he did mention, do we have the audio?
We do.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Here's Rich Paul and what he had to say about the De'Aaron Fox deal.
That's how I looked at it. In De'Aaron's case, he has spent 8 years in SAC. It's pretty good, but it was time for a change, and I personally wanted to place him next to Wemby to grow, right? And he thought that made a lot of sense too. It's his choice, but that's where he wanted to be. And I was blessed enough and able enough to make that happen, right? In BI's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You notice how carefully he's choosing his words, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm blessed to make that happen. But he did say, I felt it would be good for him to go down with Wemby.
Yes.
And then he followed that and also said he wanted to be down there too, though.
Yeah, that's what stood out to me too. Quote, I personally wanted to place him next to Wemby to grow, right? And he thought that made a lot of sense too. It's his choice, but that's where he wanted to be. And I was blessed enough and able to make that happen. To me, I think we pretty much know how this all went. To me, this just reinforces that notion that once De'Aaron Fox signed up with Clutch, there's a really good chance he was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, and the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
You got to give a hand clap to Officer Mike. You were in front of this for a while. I remember before the season started, you said it a few times. Just, something is touching me to where this isn't going to end right. And if you don't, and I remember you saying it, paraphrasing it, if you don't get it figured out now, this is something that might linger on, and it's probably not going to end well.
Mm-hmm.
And we're at that point. We're past that point now. But I remember you were spot on there, Officer Mike. You were right there.
Well, I appreciate that, but I was just getting all my information from that reporting from Sam Amick and Slates. Yeah, they were all over it.
Yeah, but you also have to read and decipher. It's like when you go to college. Sometimes you can get caught reading too much, and you don't comprehend what you really need. You're just reading to be reading. So you comprehended it, read through it, and spit something out.
There was a lot of people around here, especially people that had anything to do with the Kings, who wanted to, downplay all of that at the time. It's like, no, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. Maybe it will be down the road, but of course, it got to the point where it was inevitable, had to be dealt with. So. I don't know.
It wasn't too long.
Yeah. I don't even know if the Spurs are that happy with it yet, but they just did it. So there's a long ways to go. Today on Get Up, I guess they had some big fight about, somebody said the Luka trade is a massive failure. And someone said, how can you say that? They just did it. They got into some big stupid fight.
Come on, man.
But the point is, we don't know anything about how these trades are going to work out yet.
No, got to give it a little time, got to let it breathe a little bit. And the first part of it will be March 7th. We'll know, people are going to, we're going to have a get up type argument and discussion after March 7th, which is a Friday. Be in the building if you can. And then on top of that, once we assess who, what, where, and why is in the playoffs and play in and how that kind of shakes out, then we'll assess it there. And then the third assessment will be this offseason as people, let it breathe a little bit. And as we move forward and some of these teams shake out and we get a little more comfortable with both of these rosters, looking at the Spurs with De'Aaron and Zach and DeMar and all these guys here in Sacramento, we'll have another discussion. I'm prepared to have 3 or 4 because I know we're going to have them.
Mm-hmm. By the way, we still haven't checked in with Brendan Nunes, who says, I don't believe in this team.
What's funny is I sat next to Brendan Sunday for a little bit at the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Brendan, man, you sure that how these boys fired up on Friday or Thursday? And he was like, oh, man, yeah. I don't even think Brendan meant to do it.
No, he's not. Yeah, he wasn't like the guys on Get Up trying to get everybody all riled up. He was just like, I'll tell you what, this is what I think.
Yeah, and he said a few other things off the top of my mind I don't necessarily remember, but I remember he was kind of like, that's not what I was really going for. I'm trying to get a better understanding. And, we have to have him on. Maybe I'll shoot him a text and see if he wants to jump on and not defend himself, but explain it.
Yeah, that's all. As far as agents go, do we even need agents? SGA is one of the first to do this, but he won't be the last. That story's next with the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports. And
for 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip, if a firm presents it's local, but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton and Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends over at Jiffy Lube, and they want to show some customer love this month with their February oil change deals you can find online today. Visit jiffylube.com and find a service center near you to see these sweetheart deals. Get it? During the month of February. Here's what you do. Drive into savings at jiffylube.com today and let yourself save in the month of February. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sherry, what have you done to your hair?
What do you mean? Does it not look good?
It doesn't look good. It looks freaking amazing. I can't believe how thick and healthy it looks. Oh, I must know your secret.
No secret. It's hair volume from New Nordic.
Hair volume, huh? Well, it certainly lives up to its name. Your hair has never looked so thick. It is gorgeous.
I was so tired of having thin and brittle hair. Ugh, and the shedding. So I figured I'd give hair volume a try. Needless to say, I'm thrilled with the results. Hey, where are you going?
I'm going to pick up some hair volume right now. My reunion's next month and I want my hair to look as good as yours.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or your local CVS. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Help your hair look full, voluminous, and beautiful again at newnordicusa.com or CVS.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 rising from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Taking your workout to the next level can be as easy as trying something new. At InShape Fitness, that includes small group training classes like boxing or rowing, or spending a little more me time in the sauna. We are InShape. You are ready. Join online at InShape.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
So if you're lonely,
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
If you've ever wondered what would happen if the Kings had drafted Luka, somebody tried to find out. I don't think they did, but they gave it a run at Reeves Legacy. Did you hear about this, Jake?
Yeah, I saw it real quick.
They asked Chat GPT to simulate an alternate universe where the Kings drafted Luka Doncic. And long story short, Luka's resume by the end of his career, 21 seasons, according to Chat GPT. 6-time NBA champion, 6-time Finals MVP, and 6-time NBA MVP. Luka Doncic with the Kings.
Okay. Yeah, Chat GPT got that one wrong.
Mm-hmm.
6 MVPs?
Yes. NBA champions in 22, 23, 25, 28, 33, and 38.
Who else was on that roster? Does Chat GPT give me that?
I will look further into that.
Must have been LeBron on that roster too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Steph.
Game 6, Kings win the title. Sacramento wins 109-104.
Oh, yeah, they're wrong in that.
Luka 47, Giannis 40 in the losing effort. Paul George 22 points.
Paul George for the Kings?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the first.
You got too much time on your hands when you're doing that.
Mm-hmm. That was supposedly 2022, the first Kings.
That was the first
championship. Yeah. So there you go.
We could only wonder.
One potential answer to the question, hey, what would have happened there?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just got too much time on your hands.
Do you think that the Luka trade kind of took the whole Kings trade of Fox just off the front burner? And I think people around the NBA might have been looking at that more. But then when Luka was traded, it's like, yeah, nothing else mattered.
Yeah, it definitely went under the radar a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like a throw-in trade.
Right.
You know, at one point in time, that was the big deal leading up. And then next thing you know, oh, yeah, blip on the radar. The other one, too, was Kuzma. Like for a lot of years, we've been talking about Kuzma moving and going here or going there. And he really kind of slipped to the Bucks.
Yeah.
And it looks like it may be a great move for the Bucks right now in a short time, still a short window. We got to figure that out.
Yeah, you're right. Those trades became, and don't forget that happened too. Whereas before it would have been, man, De'Aaron Fox, that might have been the biggest trade at the deadline. Now it's like, no, that also happened. But it was all about Luka to the Lakers, who, by the way, the Lakers playing tonight.
Yeah, they are. Did you see Luka pull up in the Mustang?
No.
Oh, yeah. Got to check it out. I got to send it to you. Old school.
But I remember I was a little kid. I was probably like 5. And my dad took me to Wilson Park in Vallejo. And I didn't know why. I didn't know why we're out there. We drive out there and there's all these guys standing around. They're all excited. And I didn't know what was going on. And then this Jag, I remember it was like a copper or bronze Jag, Jay. Everyone's all excited. This car comes pulling into Wilson Park and drives up to everybody.
And then whistle pipes.
Tug McGraw gets out.
Really?
Yeah.
Of all people?
Yeah. Because that's who everyone was waiting for. Because he was making an appearance.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. And I had no idea. I just remember he went over and he went, hey, how you doing? And he did the thing with my hair.
What's up, Stretch?
I had no Officer Mike London. But yeah, you talk about sports guys driving fancy cars. That's the one
That's the one that resonates with you.
But anyway, I digress. So anyway, Lakers playing your team tonight, right?
I mean, Charlotte?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I thought that's your boy.
That's my squad. Yeah, absolutely. We'll take it. And, Mark Williams is going to be in the building, allegedly. He's going to play tonight against the Lakers. It could be team. Melo's going to show out because it's La La Land, his hometown.
Yeah. All the best to LeVar. I know he just had a procedure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Say what you will. I mean, he's obviously a good father.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Godspeed, good health. Absolutely to you, LeVar. So it's going to be a good situation. All eyes are going to be on the game because there's really nothing else going on at the moment.
Were you in the building at Chase when D'Angelo did his performance?
No, I was outside. Yeah, I heard it. I heard it didn't go over that well. But I'll say this, and it's not. I'm not putting this on Bay Area fans because the All-Star brings all kinds of fans, and I also know it's a corporate event. Just wasn't no umph in the crowd either night, Saturday or Sunday. Now Friday I didn't go to. I heard the HBCU game was going fantastic though. 2:00 on Saturday. My wife and her friend got them some tickets. It was in the town. Yep, at the old Oracle, Oakland Arena. Heard that was a great time. Heard the fans were, she sent me a couple of videos, saw people moving and grooving. Heard that was a good turnout. Spike Lee was in there talking a little head about Sac. Did you see that?
No, I don't think I did.
Yeah, Spike tried to put down Sacramento on the under. Reporter Kevin John of Channel 10.
Yes, where you from?
Right.
Yeah, you're not repping the words. I'm repping the Kings. So that's words.
Yeah,
I did see that.
Yeah, man. Why we always got to take just shots? We always getting shots taken at us, man. But I didn't. I wasn't there, so I didn't hear LiAngelo. I heard from a few people that it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing to write home about.
It wasn't Kendrick's halftime show.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I saw some of it. It just didn't, like I say, it didn't quite translate, but it was fine. How about this? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You know, we've been talking about Rich Paul a lot. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has parted ways with his agent, Thad Foucher of Wasserman, and he will now represent himself. Yeah. So Shai is eligible to sign a Supermax extension with the Thunder this summer worth nearly $300 million. Foucher also represented Russell Westbrook before they parted ways in 2022. And Shai's 26, could be the MVP this year. 32.5 points per game, shooting 52.3% from the field. And now he didn't have to split that, there's no fees.
You ain't getting that 10%, that 2%, that 5%, that 20%.
Yeah, and in the NBA where everything is slotted, how much you make is basically slotted depending on words you've earned, how long you've played. I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to look at that and go, I don't think I need an agent.
That was the other thing I was thinking about was just what you said, Whitey, is SGA could pretty much call his own cards now, call his own shots. You need an agent, which I'm pretty sure he has a business agent. You need an agent as far as, entertainment, entertainment stuff. And I should say entertainment.
And all that stuff. Yeah.
But as far as like representing you for basketball, you pretty much know, give or take, where you, like you said, what slots you're going to be rocked and rolled into. Joel Embiid did this last year or 2 years ago after his last contract. I had to make sure I went and looked that up as well. He was with Rob Pelinka at the time, right? And now we know Pelinka moved on. And then there was didn't Harden do that for a quick minute? Didn't he represent himself?
I'd have to check that.
Like he pulled himself away from someone else too. So, I'm with you. I think there's going to be a couple of stars. Like LeBron doesn't need an agent. Pretty much, listen, LeBron's at this point in the last 10, 15, 20 years, he could have throughout his whole career, he could just wrote a number on the paper and just said, hey, pay me that. And they would have said, yeah, let's figure it out.
Now, you could argue maybe a guy like De'Aaron wanted an agent because he felt like, I don't know if I want to be here. I might need someone to help me get from point A to point B.
Oh, absolutely.
But if Shai's like, I like it here, the team's great, I'm going to make the Supermax, what do I need you for?
Yeah, especially right now. Now maybe a contract and a half or 2 contracts down the road when he turns 30 or something. Yeah, let me go ahead and pick the phone back up. Big man, Officer Mike, can you come negotiate this for me? But right now, like you said, he's going to be all league. He probably is going to be the MVP. He's my MVP right now. He just signed a deal with Converse. He's the vice president of Converse, design. And on top of that, I believe he's the vice president of Hermes. Let me check that. He's also got his hands on one of the major designers as well. So, he's doing what he needs to do probably by himself. And in the NBA, he's calling his own shot.
Yeah, Campy says Ray Allen hired a contract lawyer
hourly
to read the contract.
Yeah, remember that.
When we come back, King's midterm grades are in. What do you think? What do you got next on Sacktown Sports?
Fisher Investments. We may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss. Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Ah, there's nothing quite as serene and beautiful as our Sacramento rivers. It's something we can all take pride in. But just one piece of litter can ruin the picture. I'm Alan Stiles from Sacktown Sports. Let's work together to keep our community beautiful and make Sacramento litter-free. Clean rivers don't just mean beauty. They mean healthy fish, safe swimming, and a vibrant ecosystem. So remember, be river-friendly. Every little action makes a huge impact. Visit BeRiverFriendly.net now to be a part of the difference.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you. Lightning and the thunder. Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call. At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile. They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later. They leave the work area cleaner than they found it. And your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys. So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Lakers back in action tonight. One superstar is expected to play. The other, we'll see. We'll get to that in just a moment. Before we do, Jay, we just played an eBay commercial there, and in the commercial somebody talks about, oh, I got the last card to complete my set. I got a card yesterday, and this was through eBay. I got a card, and it was 1987 Ron Harper.
Ron Hart
card would have completed my set. Last card I needed. Last card to complete that 87 Fleer set. Got it. Open it up. And the guy who sent it to me, he had it wrapped in some kind of, brown paper. And then he had it like taped in a little plastic sleeve, taped to the paper, and the tape somehow got stuck to the top of the card, which slid out of the sleeve. So I'm trying to take very carefully the tape off, like painter's tape. I take it off the top of Ron Harper's like, that did damage to the card. I'm sending that back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sending it back.
Dang.
Yeah, refund time. eBay's really good about that. They're like,
Yeah,
okay.
they are. Yeah.
But that was the last card I need. I was that close. Close. I'll get another one.
Have you seen another? I was like,
they're not that hard to get. It was just like,
it was in your hand. It was in your hand. Oh, man, I hate to hear that for you, big time.
It's all right. It's a minor inconvenience. I'll just take advantage of the opportunity to get a nicer card.
Very true.
End up in better position.
Positive. I like where you're going. Man, I sure hate to hear that. I know it was right there in your fingertips.
Oh, right there. Right there.
Dang. And what were you going to do with the set?
Probably just keep it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Nice.
Pass it on to K and Co down the road.
Absolutely. Yeah. Meanwhile, Luka back to work with the Lakers. Looks like he's going to be back full speed. JJ Redick, coach of the Lakers, as you probably know, he says that Luka will not or probably won't have a minutes restriction this week. But as far as LeBron, he's listed as questionable to face Jay's Hornets crew. LeBron missed the final game before the All-Star break, set out the All-Star game, as you know. The Lakers returned from the break with the game tonight, which was moved up. That was a game that had to be rescheduled because of the horrible fires. So they come back from the break with a game with 3 games over 4 days, playing in Portland on Thursday, then Denver on Saturday. And I'm telling you, that's why LeBron said, they're doing what to me? They're making me play how many games? They're forcing me out of the All-Star game? Well, I'll show them. I just won't play.
That's your theory?
Yeah.
Got sources?
LeBron, they're making me. No, I haven't. I have no sources. 3 cities over 4 days. I'll show them. Yeah, I tried it out today and I can't go. Sorry. I don't know. I think he's not happy about that.
I mean, maybe he's just like, I need a little longer break. These legs are 40-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And I need a little break. And we're playing the Hornets, fellas. Luka, y'all should be able to take care of that.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Reddish, Dalton Connect. You're back in the fold, young fella. Go ahead and take care of that light work for me. But see, what they don't know, my boy LaMelo back home, close to Chino.
Right. That's right.
He might go for a soft 40 piece tonight.
On 60 shots.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, no one cried when Kobe was taking 50 shots. We consider him one of the greatest. No one talked about Iverson and him putting up 93 shots a game. We consider him the greatest. How dare I go back to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar throwing up that pumpkin quite a bit. Nobody was crying about Wilt throwing 200 shots up. Now everybody want to talk about my boy LaMelo. All right, cool.
Okay, you're right. He's Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Close. They're going to be here Monday. You're going to be out there for that, right?
Oh, absolutely. You think I'm not going to be in the building?
Yeah. For a team that's not very good, they are kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, they're exciting. They're what people call the NBA League Pass team. We always talk about that in the beginning of the year. Oh, they're a League Pass team. They're pretty close to being one.
So I wrote down today, just jot down some ideas as we do, of course. Hey, maybe we could do something, look at if it's like midterms for the Kings with this break. Maybe we can look at some, midterm grades for the players, for the team. And then, it's not that original an idea. And in fact, Alan and Kyle Ledbetter did that today as well. And I bring it up because Jay, they gave the Kings front office following grades for this season to this point. And I think they also took into account previous seasons. Allen went C- and Ledbetter went D+.
A D+?
Wow.
For the front office?
For the front office.
What was the reasoning behind it? You remember?
Well, it's just because, the way Kyle Ledbetter put it, you took a team that 2 years ago was top 4 in the West and now is barely hanging on to a play-in spot. I have a hard time, and I appreciate the fact that they're honest about that, and they give them an honest assessment, even though it's one I might not agree with. But I just think it's hard for me to give them a really low grade right now because they did a lot. They being the front office, Monty and Wes. If they didn't do anything, I could see it. You go, oh my goodness, they've done a lot. We don't know how it's going to work out yet, but they certainly have been busy this offseason.
Yeah, I was going down the transaction list of just this past season. So beginning in the offseason, and that's where we're starting, right? Offseason to current times.
Yes, sir.
All right. They waived Sharif O'Neal, Terry Taylor, Boogie Ellis, Signed him to the G League. Dexter Dennis, Justin Powell. Forgot about O-Rob already.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, they signed O-Rob, right? I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Re-signed Alex Lynn. J-Mac, friend of the show. DeMar DeRozan, the shot heard around the world. Re-signed Malik Monk for a little bit of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Re-signed Mike Brown, even though you let him go.
Mm-hmm.
I would venture to say most people believe the Isaac Jones two-way contract is a positive.
Sure.
Right? Just represented us here this past weekend. Devin Carter, they drafted. They acquired Jalen McDaniels, who I completely forgot was on this roster very quick. Well, technically never was. Well, he was on the roster.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they gave him a shot.
Yeah. In exchange for Davion, Sasha, Vezinkoff. They got
deal.
rid of Sasha, who didn't want to be here. Re-signed Keon Ellis.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Mm-hmm. The other reason I'm not sure it's fair to be harsh is what's fair. They have a right to do that. But, sometimes in pro sports, the GM, the front office, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're following orders sometimes. I think we assume a lot of times in any pro sport, when GM does something, it's like, what is he doing? Why would you do that? And sometimes it's because those are your instructions. Right?
True. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if that's what's going on here, but it seems to me that ownership has been pretty happy with this front office.
Yeah. I'd probably give them a B. Probably a B.
Mm-hmm. I think I might go B minus.
B
minus. I'm
right
there with you.
Yeah. I'd probably go B. You're right in that 86 percentile, 87 percentile.
Yeah.
Like they've done some great moves, and to have a star, and we just heard Rich Paul say it 20 minutes ago. San Antonio, no doubt, was a spot that they wanted De'Aaron to land.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough when you handcuff like that. And I understand fans say, well, man, you don't have to do them a justice. You don't have to cave in, so to say, and trade a star to where they want to go. But I'll argue, I will argue you. I can't speak today. I will argue you to the point of, if you don't treat that player right, you don't treat that player properly, Clutch Sports has plenty other players. They may never do business with you again. They may hold it against you.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, you got to treat people right, business-wise, personal-wise. There's a lot of things that happens behind closed doors that we aren't privy to, right? And we believe that we know. And I always say there's still three sides to every story. I think they were handcuffed with the Spurs move and to swing Zach LaVine. And Monty used this word. He said cultivate. Remember, he said we cultivated the trade market to go get Zach LaVine, which lets me know it wasn't near right from the jump. I got to give him a B, Whitey. I got to give him a B, man. You signed DeMar. You re-signed Malik.
You're right.
You re-signed Keon. You went and got Alex Lynn, which now has turned into, and Kobe Jones, which now has turned into Jonas Valanciunas, right? And Jake LaRavia. You pulled in a couple more number one picks unprotected. Everybody's pinpointing this year's Charlotte, but put that on the Knicks. They were the ones that took that dumb trade from the beginning. That was a dumbass trade in 2021 by Scott Perry, formerly here, right? So that's not a Kings thing. They're taking the back end of that. This is the last year. I got to give them a B, man.
Yeah, they've definitely been busy. They've done a lot. We'll see where it all ends up. And this is just a midterm grade. And that's the thing with these moves. We have no idea yet. How are they going to work out? So far, it has been promising, but the final grade obviously will hinge on what they do from here. But they've been trying. That's what we want, I think, as fans. I'll speak for myself, is my front office ownership. Are they trying to win? Are they trying to get things done to get better? Thank you. Because so often now in sports, teams really are not doing that. Yeah.
More times than not, the tanking, looking for a different type of sweepstakes, a draft pick. Yeah, I think the Kings are pushing forward. It might not have been on everybody else's time, though. I think that's the problem. As we all look around, and if I'm hearing Alan and hearing Kyle through, third person, me and you, Officer Mike, they could have stepped on the gas last year and maybe made these moves and tried it again last year before you let go Mike Brown and maybe put him in a predicament. But Hey, listen, I can't cry over spilled milk. I'm just going off, and that's why I asked you, are we talking about this year? Or are we talking about the last 3 years? We're talking about the regime. But if we're talking about this year, they've made some moves. Absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of moves, KD on the real reason he nixed that return to the Bay Area. Should we believe him? And we'll look at some other Kings midterm grades when we come back. Drive, guys. Sacktown Sports.
Cheer on the Sacramento Kings in the stretch run of the season. Now through February 21st, enjoy no fees on Kings tickets for all upcoming games, including matchups against the Warriors, Spurs, Cavaliers, and Celtics. That's right, no fees, just savings. Catch the Beam Team with new addition, two-time All-Star Zach LaVine, and experience the thrill of Kings basketball at Golden One Center. Seats are going fast. Don't wait to get your tickets with no fees. Visit kings.com/no fees to grab your tickets today.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Right now, get up to a $15 gift card after rebate when you purchase select Superstart batteries exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Didn't anticipate this. You know, a little while ago, we played the comments from Rich Paul on Durant Fox that came on Gil's Arena podcast. And Rich Paul talked about Durant. He got him in San Antonio, and he mentioned that Zach LaVine is a client as well. So now fans like Farmer Bleezy 22 are asking, does that mean Paul doesn't want LaVine here either? Just thought about that based on his comments. And then some other people, fans weighing in there on what may happen with Zach LaVine.
It's interesting.
Campy says eventually LaVine will move on. Well, maybe, but right now, given what he's getting paid and how much the Kings want him, Zach LaVine's in a really good spot. That doesn't mean they'll always feel that way.
Sure.
Could next year, this time, maybe it changes. But right now, I think if, whoever you are, Zach LaVine, Clutch Sports, you got to look at this and go, Zach LaVine's in, for him, a really good spot.
Yeah, and another thing, too, Rich said, even though it was quick, it was like, look, De'Aaron was there for 8 years. It was time for a change. Yeah. I don't necessarily think, he didn't have any ill will saying like, hey, I can't stand that organization or we got to get all my guys out of there. He just calmly said, look, De'Aaron was there for 8 years. I felt that it was time for a change, and we wanted to put him in San Antonio, meaning Clutch Sports, and he wanted to be in San Antonio. I didn't read into the fact of him saying, hey, listen, we don't want Zach LaVine to be there in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
And we know Zach wants to be here. He signed here at one point in time. So
right.
We know he wants to be a part of it right now.
Bleezy said his comments this past weekend, I feel the writing is on the wall for any of his clients when it comes to Zach. I think that's probably a reach. I understand it. I would say if the Kings ever draft any young player, like a superstar type player, if that ever happens and that player becomes a Rich Paul client, they're probably not going to be here long, in my personal view.
Sure.
But as far as Zach LaVine, I think Kings are in pretty good shape.
Yeah, and I don't think Rich Paul / Clutch clients stay in one market anyway. I think they've shown and proven that they don't have no problem jumping ship for the bigger market and for the bigger money as well. So I second that. I think if we're talking about, someone coming out of college and they're a clutch sports guy, those are the things you got to have take into consideration. You should have those conversations. So listen, we really like this guy. And if they turn out to be someone of the ilk of re-signing them 2-3 contracts, you better jump in front of it with clutch sports, because they'll let you know we jump in ship.
Yeah, I know there was a story that came out in the midst of all this. I can't remember the source, which is very important though. And the gist of it was, clutch sports and the Kings they're fine. They're on the terms, they're fine with each other. I mean, that's obviously something anybody's going to say. It doesn't behoove either side to say we're not happy with them, but that's the official word anyway. So Zach LaVine's fine here for now. I don't think that is something you need to worry about. I don't think clutch sports sitting there. I don't think Rich Paul's sitting there going, how do I get Zach LaVine out of?
No, I don't think so either.
Don't think so. KD has spoken out here on the real reason why he nixed that return to the Bay.
KD.
Mercedes, man. Kevin Durant exclusive interview with Malika Andrews. It aired on Tuesday's episode of NBA Today. Here's what KD says. It's interesting. Steve Kerr came out and said, I don't blame KD for not wanting to come back here. Everything he went through here, and when he came here, everyone said he was, chasing championships, blah, blah, blah. But KD says, people talk crazy about me all the time. That's not the reason why I didn't want to come back. I just didn't want to get traded midway through the season. It was nothing against my time with the Warriors. I heard because I didn't like Draymond. At the end of the day, I just didn't want to move. And I wanted to see it through with my team in Phoenix and see what we can do the rest of the season. I'm glad I'm still there. End quote. You buying that?
Yeah, I believe it. Because KD's a straight shooter. To me, he touches as one of those guys that he'll tell you like it is. And I think he doesn't really duck from smoke. He's not the most talkative person when you have conversations with him. We know he'll fire it off via social network. We know he has no problem with that. But the other thing is I take KD on the surface because he's kind of shown and proven that to me. He doesn't mind going against the grain. He doesn't mind saying some difficult things. He doesn't mind having tough conversations. And I can't say that for all the pros and professional player and NBA guys. And they don't have to be. I just take it what KD is. He's just kind of one of them guys. He's going to shoot it straight.
Mm-hmm. My guess would be that he's couching it a little. Who knows? I don't know. But I could see how he'd go, I went there before. We won 2 championships, and I just caught hell from everybody. They want me to go back there now. They're not as good. I'm probably not going to be able to help them that much. They'll be a little better. But why want to go back? If I caught hell when I was helping them win championships and I was winning finals MVP awards, what's going to happen if I go back there now? So
it's a long way just saying, look, I don't want to move.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what he said. He was like, look, I don't want to move.
It's funny because there have been reports, not necessarily accurate, that, in Phoenix, a lot of bad juju there and the vibes are off, but he had a chance to get out and he didn't want to.
Yeah. I mean, he could have probably picked his team. Pretty sure if he picked up the phone and told his agent, trade me somewhere, let's get it done, let's figure it out, they would have made it happen. I just think KD is kind of one of those guys where we will always try to figure him out and we will always
fail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, to me, he's just he's wired a little different. He's a product of his environment. You listen to, where he comes from and how he was raised and things like that, man. It's not an easy spot where he comes from in DC. Right. And so I just think he's one of them guys like, look, man, I'm not going to let y'all control my narrative. I'm going to do me. And I'm going to say, I'm going to try to control my own narrative. And he, like you said, he may be couching a little bit, but the way I believe it is him just saying, I ain't want to go nowhere.
Right. Yeah. They didn't want to go. That's fine. It's interesting to me that there was a time when he first came into the league, he seemed so humble and such a good guy. And then after he left OKC and went to the Warriors, and some people said he changed. I bet he never changed. He just got to the point where he was more comfortable telling everybody what he was really thinking and how he was really feeling.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing I think he realizes is business.
Yeah.
Like, this is a business, and then when you seen, and he's talked about it, when I saw James Harden walk out the door, it's like, man, this is a business. And I've asked a couple people down there in Austin, who had the opportunity to rock with KD. And I've heard he's kind of been the same guy ever since he walked in the door and the way he left. Now, of course, kid to being a man and maturing and different things around him. But at the same time, I've also heard, like, I've heard people say he's been the same guy since I ever met him when he walked in at 18 years old. So I don't know. Don't know him.
Farmer Bleezy says KD was going back and forth with people on Twitter this weekend. Good entertainment, LOL.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. KD fires off, man.
I know he does. I just don't know he did it this weekend. And that's when I don't get that at all. I don't know why he does that. It's his right. That's fine if you enjoy it, but I just don't understand it.
In what form?
I don't understand why he would lower himself to that level, what he would get out of it that would make it worth his while to engage in
entertainment. I think it's entertainment for him. And another part of it too, though, is I have to, and I understand what you're saying, Whitey, but I have to give him kudos because there are too many professionals who, and we've talked about this with the Kings organization. There are too many times and too many instances where athletes, celebrities, organizations, they allow people to talk around them and don't correct them. Sometimes you got to put your foot in somebody's butt. Sometimes you got to check a person. Sometimes you got to correct them. And I get it. When you're outside looking in, you're looking like, hey, this dude's got money, he's got fame, he's got everything that you possibly could want on the surface. We don't know, inside, but why stoop down to that level? Why not? Because people are gassing him up all the time. So it's a difference if he was being petty. And I can understand some people saying KD being petty, but I'm also saying KD's also like, yeah, okay, I hear what you're saying, but that's not 100% true. We need more of that. That's the problem in our media time is we allowing some cats who are famous. They shouldn't be.
To me, it's just, and I'm not saying he's doing something wrong to the rest of us. I feel bad for him that he is so sensitive to the criticism from people on X or Twitter at the time that he had a burner account. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying, bro, it's okay.
Because I think he wanted to be himself. Because I think I think if you listen to what he's saying, and I've tried to pay attention to KD for just this reason, he has said kind of what you said is, I want to be myself, but I know being myself is going to be frowned upon. And if I fire off on some of these fans like I want to, I'm going to be the person that's going to be in trouble. Not Harry _65 Night Owl. Like them, nobody cares about them. So I think KD is like, I'm going to protect myself. He did a little sharper. He did a little smarter. And now that it's kind of being, we're accepting it more because we see athletes and all these celebrities coming out with.
That's true.
There's a podcast every other day. Yeah, like every other day, there's a brand new podcast. Somebody signed up to talk behind the mic and the laptop. And so I think it's being accepted more. So now he's like, man, I ain't got to use the burner account no more. I could just be me.
If that makes him happy, if he gets some satisfaction out of that, good for him. I just used to always feel like it's okay. You don't have to make yourself miserable. But as you say, maybe it didn't make him miserable. Maybe it gave him great satisfaction.
I think you use it as entertainment, White.
Yep. Speaking of entertainment, we're going to catch up with Brendan Marks from The Athletic. This should be informative. How entertaining, I'm not sure, but we're going to ask him about this report that Cooper Flag may be skipping the upcoming NBA draft. Can it be true? We'll find out next on Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Clearing out Wednesday night. Thursday morning, noticeably cooler with temperatures in the lower 40s. Afternoon highs in the mid-60s with a cool north breeze. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
Just like in basketball, you need the right team to win. And that's why I recommend Folsom Lake Kia. They got low payments that change the game. And you can always buy with zero down with approved credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia and tell them DC sent you.
This 49er injury report is brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. After an injury-plagued 2024 season, which ended 6-11 and out of the playoffs, the 49ers will focus on getting healthy in the offseason. Running backs Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, and Isaac Guerrero all suffered season-ending injuries. Left tackle Trent Williams' ankle kept him out late in the year, and Brock Purdy missed the season finale with a hurt elbow. 49ers hope to enter 2025 with a full roster back intact.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You Deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with the California Army National Guard. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from a good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, yeah, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
High voltage live boxing action returns to the venue on March 8th as Uppercut Promotions presents Thunder Showdown 2. With 8 big fights, it's a night of great boxing action you won't want to miss. Thunder Showdown 2, coming March 8th to the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resorts. Fight card subject to change.
At Stockton Honda, we know how to honor a great deal. Like right now, during our President's Day sales event, you can find star-spangled savings on some of our best models. Why not stop in today and see for yourself? Save thousands with low APR financing and great lease rates on over 500 new Hondas at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Very special guest coming up. Before we get to that, in the text line, here, the way your show covers Kings reminds me of the meme that says nothing to see here while behind them the house is engulfed in flames. You guys are really funny. I would like, sir or madam, I would like to recommend for you a product called Debrox, Debrox. You put it in your ears and it loosens the wax and removes the wax so that you can hear. Because I don't know what you're listening to if you think that's what me and Jay are doing. Are you sure you're texting the right program? Come on, Jay. We're not, right? We're not.
Listen, man.
Oh, no, everything's great.
Don't fall into Kevin Durant.
Everything's great. Yeah, they're going to win the championship. Yay. Go Kings.
Nah,
what are you listening to?
Yeah. He must have the wrong number.
I digress here, and I apologize to our next guest who deserved a better intro than that. But he covers Duke and North Carolina basketball for The Athletic. Rumor has it he's been known to jump out of an airplane now and then. Brendan Marks with us. How are you, Brendan?
Crazy.
Doing well, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. Is it true? Have you been known to jump out of a plane now and then?
A couple of times, you know, and I was able to convince my wife to come with me once. She has not made the return trip. Don't think she's going to be, but anybody who hasn't and has a little bit of adrenaline kick, highly recommend.
What can I just follow that up, Brendan? What in the hell made you do it the first time?
I've always been an adrenaline guy, you know, like, hiking mountains and, roller coasters, whatever I could get my hands on, bungee jumps, bungee cords, whatever. And so when I was in college, I went with a couple of buddies and we were out near the Mexican border in Tijuana, and we drove on down and we said, you know what, let's jump out of a plane today. So we did. So I've done it a few more times since then at different spots across the country. And again, it's not for everybody, but it's not nearly as bad as you think it would be, because once you get up, you got to come down. I
would do that, Jay. I think that would be great. So I'm just not sure how hard is the landing. How hard is it, Brendan? Because I know you have a parachute, but still, it's not like you just like a feather landing. How How tough is the landing on a skydive?
How athletic are you? That's the question. If you can, if you can catch your feet and you can run a little bit when you land, you could be okay. Otherwise, you might be going for, a little slip and slide on the ground. But if you have an opportunity to catch your feet, let me put it that way.
Okay, get a chance. You tell me there's a chance. All right, Brendan. According to, as you know, Front Office Sports, Cooper Flagg wants to return to Duke next season. Anything to this report? And if not, where the heck could it be coming from?
Yeah, well, I don't ever want to speak ill of another publication, but, this line, this quote about Cooper Flagg saying, I want to come back next year is from a story that I co-wrote for The Athletic. And anybody who actually read the story, and I would encourage anyone who's interested in Cooper Flagg as an NBA prospect or just as the best player in college basketball to go do so. But the complete sense of him saying that is, I'm an 18-year-old enjoying my college experience. And if I were not on the precipice of generational wealth, why, yes, I would like to come back and have this experience again. For anybody who is familiar, it is the exact same thing that Zion Williamson said when he was at Duke. It's the exact same thing that Paolo Banchero said when he was at Duke. And again, anybody with the ability to actually read that story would come away with that takeaway. There is a 0% chance that Cooper Flagg is coming back to Duke for a number of reasons, which we can get into if you want, but it's not happening. He's not coming back to Duke, and anyone suggesting so is doing so in bad faith.
Well done,
right,
sir.
there you go, Brendan.
Well
One would say, and I've seen a little bit of argument going against this, where they'd say, well, he could make the same amount of money at Duke. Is that even close to being true?
It's not true. So, okay, let's get into all the reasons. I got time today.
Okay.
For starters, Cooper Flagg reclassified. He started the year when he was 17 at Duke. He reclassified up and skipped his last year of high school because he was bored with high school basketball, had already advanced beyond it. And anybody who's watching at the college level can say the same thing right now. He's the best player on arguably the best team in the country. He's probably going to win the Naismith or the Wooden Award, and he's going to be the number one pick in the draft. There is no tangible basketball benefit to him coming back to Duke this year. Even if he has improved at Duke this year, he is, as a player, beyond the college game already. Secondly, for him coming back, part of the reason for why he left the high school early to come to Duke when he did was that also gets him to his second NBA contract one more year quicker. Number three, obviously, if he comes back, there's an injury risk. You never know what can happen. Those insurance policies, while they do protect athletes a little bit, they obviously do not protect against your total future earnings. And Cooper Flagg is a player who, if he is the type of prospect that a lot of NBA evaluators think he is potentially going to be a $400 million player at the NBA level. And lastly, the one that nobody wants to think about, and to answer your question directly, could he make as much at Duke next year as he will in the NBA? A, simple answer, no. B, more complex answer, Duke is operating as if he's gone and has already otherwise allocated its NIL resources. There's no more money left for him. So there are a number of reasons why it doesn't make sense to varying degrees of common sense, but he's not coming back. Sorry to throw cold water on anybody who is expecting that. It is by no means true in any sense.
Thank you, Brendan Marks from The Athletic, for setting the record straight. By the way, Brendan, we've established he has been known to jump out of airplanes. And Brendan, we have this in the chat today on YouTube from Aaron. He says he's done it twice. And he said the second time the plane had parts that were duct taped together, that was an experience. Have you ever leapt from a rickety airplane, Brendan?
I have. I think that's probably why my wife is not going back with me. The plane that she and I went on, the door, with that like clear plexiglass material, and it shot up when we were still on the ascent. So like before we had reached cruising altitude, and wouldn't close for the rest of the ascent. And she was going first, so she just sat next to this open door as the plane is climbing up to, whatever, 10,000, 12,000 feet. So I've been there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about, some March Madness here with, we're really starting to focus on that now. And I know you wrote about this, Brendan, but how do you explain the fact that we have a few teams this year, a number of teams grading out on the Ken Pom efficiency scale as some of the best teams ever by the Ken Pom? And I know it's a little nerdy, but I think it's really interesting. We have 5 teams that are at a really elite level. What is going on?
Yeah, so, Ken Pom is sort of the beginner's intro to analytics for college basketball. And, it tries to take some of the biases of the way that different teams play out of the equation. Obviously, in college basketball, there's a lot more diversity of plays than there is in the NBA. You can play super slow. You can play super fast. You can, pack it in the paint. You can take away threes. That's one of the beauties of the college game. And basically, Ken Pom sort of levels the playing field and say, okay, if everybody were doing the same thing, what does it work out to? Who are the best teams? And typically, in any given season, if you have any team with a net rating, meaning that they score 30 more points per 100 possessions than they allow, so they're 30 points better. If you have one such team in a given season, that team is considered elite. This year, you're correct. We have 5 of those teams.
Whoa.
So Auburn, Duke, Houston, Florida, and Tennessee right now, as of us talking. Alabama has been right at that precipice for significant portions of the season as well. All of those are considered quote-unquote elite teams. When we're talking about Duke, Houston, and Florida, they have top 10 offenses and defenses. There's a lot of pieces to this equation, but college basketball this season, frankly, is as good as it has been in quite a while.
Wow.
Joined by Brendan Marks of The Athletic. I guess my question kind of follows that up, Brendan, is this. I kind of find myself as a fan of college basketball, as a fan of college football, college sports, but over like the last 4 or 5 years with so much different movement in college basketball, I feel like I'm asking myself every year, man, there's like 10 teams who can win it. And it feels like I've said that a little more than, 20 years ago or 15 years ago. Like I look at you, like you said, Auburn and Florida, you got Houston, Tennessee, who was in number 1 for a long time. You got Michigan and Wisconsin, Big Ten, St. John's 22-4. Why are there so many teams that people believe can win a championship this year?
Yeah, I think it's, a product of 2 trends. Number one is obviously with the, onset of NIL, everybody can pay. And so there's a little bit more parity. There's more dispersion of talent because where previously, guys may have huddled up with their buddies and gone to play at the same school and try and compete for a championship. Well, now let's say you were, the 3rd target at a blue blood. You're going to be somebody else's first target, and they're going to give you first target money instead of 3rd target money. So talent has been spread out much more evenly across the landscape than it historically has been. And that certainly has contributed to some teams, again, that we may not traditionally have thought of as college basketball powers being able to get into the mix. I mean, the number 1 recruit in the country next year is going to BYU of all places. That never would have happened before the NIL era. The second thing is, and this is the last year of it, but we are still dealing with the oldest era in college basketball history because of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is the last year, the last season in which players who missed out on the 2020 NCAA tournament when it was canceled because of the pandemic. This is the last year of extra eligibility for all those guys. And so across the landscape, you have 22, 23, 24, even some 25-year-old guys who are still playing college basketball. And obviously when you have players like that on your team, you're much more likely to be able to succeed, especially when you're playing against the likes of 17 or 18-year-olds. So when you talk about the dispersion of talent because of NIL, and then you talk about having these guys who have been in school maybe a lot more longer than we would have traditionally had them in school, those 2 things combined have meant that a lot more teams than usual have at least a fighter's chance in their conference race to get to the second weekend of the tournament. And again, there's still an elite, upper echelon of those 5 teams that we're talking about. But beyond that, there's probably another pool of 15 to 20 teams who, if they made the Final Four, it wouldn't be a giant surprise.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brendan. Thank you very much for your skydiving stories and your expertise. Seriously, we appreciate it very much. You got to chat going here about skydiving. We appreciate it. Have a great week, and we hope to talk to you again soon. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. You have a good one, too.
You too. Yeah. Skydiving. Me and Jay. Drive guys skydiving, right, Jay? That's what we'll do. You, me, and Draper. I don't know about that, but Jay and I did kind of hatch a semi-idea to start a Drive Guys pickleball tournament. It's not exactly skydiving, but right? That's something that we maybe.
I'll lead a skydiving to you and Drapes.
That'd be fun.
No, I'm out on that.
What? You jump in the air. And you don't have to do anything except at some point you just.
Technically, you don't even pull the parachute, right? The instructor with you, right?
You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll let you try it first. Then as soon as you get there and you tell me how I felt, then I'll even ponder it.
The only thing that keeps me from doing it is I bet it's really expensive.
Oh, well, come on now. You're the legendary Kevin Whitey Gleason, a.k.a. Stretchy B.
I just eat
a.k.a. Officer Mike. You don't think somebody right now is going to call in and say, Whitey, come jump out a plane?
You're right. I only eat that 4-cheese lasagna. Is the Basketball Hall of Fame's new rule? Is that a good idea? We're back with that on Sacktown Sports.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, reminding you that every deal at Folsom Lake Ford is a slam dunk. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, including America's best-selling truck for over 47 years, Ford F-Series, plus a huge selection of Broncos, Bronco Sports, and all of Ford's award-winning SUVs at FolsomLakeFord.com. Listen, I know a great play when I see one. And if you want to save on a new Ford, you got to drive the lane straight to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with 0 down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest financing, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. So hurry to Folsom Lake Ford, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they're my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop them online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. SubcontractorsUnited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, tell me what's going on for the President's Day sales event.
Something I didn't think I'd see for a long time. Right now, you can get 0% financing for 72 months on the luxurious 2024 Jeep Wagoneer S, the 2024 Grand Cherokee 4Bay, or the 2024 Dodge Hornet.
I'm sorry, Chad. I thought you said 0% financing. I must have heard wrong. And what's the Jeep Wagoneer S?
Nope. 0% financing for 72 months. Everyone's excited about the all-new Jeep Wagoneer S because it's sporty, fun, and all-electric. Plus, you can't miss the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter with over 220 vehicles available and 40 starting under $20,000.
When was the last time you heard of 0% financing? You'd better hurry before they realize what they're doing. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
0% APR for 72 months on select vehicles for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Finance. $13.89 per thousand borrowed, at least 5 available at each offer. See dealer for details.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends over at Jiffy Lube, and they want to show some customer love this month with their February oil change deals you can find online today. Visit jiffylube.com and find a service center near you to see these sweetheart deals. Get it? During the month of February. Here's what you do. Drive into savings at jiffylube.com today and let yourself save in the month of February. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-235-5588. That's 800-235-5588. 800-235-5588.
There's no better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, offering the best deals in town and a selection other dealers are jealous of. Stop on by. They're just off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
The
only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Jay doesn't want to go skydiving.
I'm fast on that.
How about you can go out to the Farallones, which is off like San Francisco, and there's some islands out there. You go out there and they put you in a shark cage, and then sometimes they chum the water.
A little chum.
And the great whites come, but you're in the shark cage.
Yeah, I do that sooner before I jump out a plane.
Mm-hmm. I would do that, except I think a lot of times you go out there and you might be out there for 3 or 4 hours. And it's like, yeah, there's no sharks today, so we got to go back. You wouldn't have, that would be
that'd be cold.
Sit there really cold in the water, just paddling around in your cage and
looking for a fin.
Yeah, and then nothing today. It happens.
Right. No, I do the shark experience. I do Shark Week, Shark Day before I jump out of plane. I'll never jump out of plane, God willing, unless I absolutely had to. Yeah, no, not for me.
You were telling me even at it's a Space Needle? You had some.
Yeah, Space Needle. Yeah. If you've had the opportunity to go up to the Space Needle, there's places and points on the Space Needle on the second floor, the bottom floor of the Space Needle, where it's glass flooring and you can see straight down into the ground. They have a restaurant inside there. People are sitting and it rotates, and I'm just like, nah. My wife she's walking all like everything's cool. There's little kids flipping and spinning and hitting cartwheels, half tuck somersaults on the glass. I'm just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna stay in this carpet area. I'll take a step or two. My wife was like, yeah, come on, man. I'm like, you got that, honey.
Ron, the daredevil of our listeners, he says shark cage diving is my next experience I want to do.
Really?
Yeah.
Where are you going, Ron?
Yeah.
Where might I ask you is your experience going to be? I'm interested. There was somewhat of an opportunity in Hawaii to do that for me, and I was like, and kind of what you said, it was a little too long. It's like it's almost a whole day experience. Like, nah, man, I'd rather be on land for a little more than half the day. But
right in Hawaii, the last thing I do is stand out there waiting for something to happen. I can go make something happen.
Exactly. Get active.
Banta says the plane must be crashing for me to actively dip out.
100% with Banta. If Banta applies for All-Star fan of the Drive guys, he's going to get a check because I'm 100% right there. A bonus up big time, half a point. You're right. I literally, and I mean, you can't, right now you look around our landscape of society, it's so many things happening in the air right now. Unfortunately, something else happened today, just it's so tough what's going on with airplanes and, the the aeronautical industry right now is just a huge mystery. And so, but I'm with them. I'm with Banta. There's no way I'm jumping out of a plane unless it's mid life or death.
I'll tell you a story about Phantom, talk about things that scare you. This, I think, was maybe before my time, but apparently when he was a little kid, he had a really bad fever and he was hallucinating that alligators were eating him. And to this day, he's terrified of alligators. He's got a thing about alligators.
See, I want to laugh, but I can't. It makes me insensitive.
It is kind of silly,
So he's not a gator guy?
He's not.
So he didn't like the college you went to?
Right. So we went like river rafting once.
Okay.
Which is great. Both my daughters worked out there at the river rafting. So we go river rafting with a bunch of listeners, and he sits like right in the very middle of the raft with his life jacket on, and he's hunkered down almost in a fetal position, and he ain't moving.
He ain't going nowhere.
No.
But I thought he's scared of gators. He's scared of rafting too, the water, all of it.
He thought the gator would make its way into the river. I don't know, but he was like,
Do we have that many gators rolling around the American River and
no?
And the Sac River? Okay, all right.
Pretty much
just the area.
You'd have to go to Florida or something.
I was gonna say, I've never really heard of a gator being around here.
Must have seen a movie or something, But as a little kid, apparently, alligators, help! So anyway,
man, that was beyond hay fever.
Yes. Is this a good idea, Jay? The Basketball Hall of Fame has a new rule this year, and looks like Carmelo and Dwight Howard may get to take advantage of this. They are among the finalists now. They had some announcements over the weekend, so they're among the finalists. They could be going into the Basketball Hall of Fame. There used to be a 5-year waiting period, and now you may think, well, wait a minute, wasn't that long ago where Carmelo was playing? That's right, but he's eligible now because there's only a 2-year waiting period. And I think it was Jerry Colangelo said, hey, why wait? You want guys to be in front of the voters when they're still top of mind. But to me, there's a reason why you used to wait 5 years. You want to give people, the voters, a little bit of perspective on it.
I like where you're coming from. I can kind of see both sides of the fence. Maybe 2's too quick. 3, can we split the difference?
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. There have been instances where a person, and maybe it's the eligibility time of some of the borderline Hall of Famers, like Melo's going to be in, Dwight's going to be in, like these guys are going to get in. I think we just saw Drew Pearson get in a couple years ago for the Cowboys and into the NFL Hall of Fame. And one of the things Drew always said, he's like, look, I want to be of right mind when I get into the Hall of Fame. He got in, thankfully. It's a blessing. He is of right mind, can have deliver a great speech. But another one that comes to mind is just blanked. I was going to say Jim McMahon, Bears defensive player, and he's
Richard Dent.
No.
Steve McMichael.
Steve McMichael. Yeah. There you go, Steve McMichael, and he's just not of correct mind, not of right mind, or technically his mind is there, his body has failed him, but that was something that he wanted to see, physically being here. And so I think there's a period sometimes where it's like, okay, it's a little too long versus it could be a little longer. I'm not sure 2 years gives you enough time to miss a player, so to say.
Yeah. Jerry Colangelo said, to better recognize the distinguished careers of potential first ballot nominees in a more timely manner, the board has appropriately shortened the waiting period. We are excited about this change and blah, blah, blah. And it was unanimously approved. I think you're right. And I know I said, wait, it's got to be 5 years, but I agree with you. Bottom line, more important than that, more important than getting that perspective is the fact that for some of these guys, especially like say football players, 5 years for someone might be too late. What's the point of waiting? There's stories of like the great Dick Allen, and he of course it was Veterans Committee, so it was way past his 2 or 5 years, but I think he finally got voted in after he had passed. Yeah. And like, that's really sad to me because there's no reason why he shouldn't have been a Hall of Famer sooner and should have been able to enjoy that. So ultimately I'm with you. 2 years, fine. There's two ways you can look at a Hall of Fame. Some people want a small Hall of Fame. They want it very exclusive, whichever Hall of Fame we're talking about. This especially applies to the Baseball Hall of Fame. You want the fewer in there, the more special it is. To me, I'm put a lot of people in there. There's a ton of guys that belong in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm with you. The more the merrier.
Yeah.
And I think
it's just better for everybody.
Yeah, let your play speak for it. And the other part is there's also and I think we're starting to measure it a little more, Whitey, in this form. Entertainment counts for something. And I know stats are pretty much what dictates if you're a Hall of Famer, and accomplishments, team-wise, personal, individual-wise as well. But I think entertainment plays a part in it too. And, there's some guys who are borderline statistically a Hall of Famer, but what they brought to the game, what they've meant to the game, who they've entertained, and who people who have become fans of these people who argue. And that's how I look at a Hall of Famer. When you start to have not a small group, but a large group of fans or a large group of people who argue this person should be in the Hall of Fame, or when you're, a percentage away or 2% away, and we see that with baseball quite a bit. It's like, dude, that's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
That's a Hall of Famer. They might have slipped up because they had a knee injury and didn't get 500 home runs. They got 430. That's a Hall of Famer.
You have guys in the Hall of Fame that belong there in whatever sport, guys and women, that belong there. If you add, it doesn't matter how many more you add or don't add. Those people are legitimate Hall of Famers.
Absolutely.
A player who has accomplished something that's Hall of Fame worthy, those accomplishments are not cheapened in the least, in my opinion, by adding. It doesn't matter how many people you add. They did what they did. So what are we gaining by saying, nope, not quite good enough?
Keep them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody in the chat says, Joseph Edwards says 2 years is ridiculous. But the more I think about it, it's like, yeah, that's good. If someone like Dwight Howard and Carmelo, I'm not big fans of either one as far as their basketball games, but they definitely deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, individually and team-wise, they definitely deserve to be in there. And as I said, I throw it in there, entertainment-wise. They brought a lot of entertainment
You're right.
to the game.
Rob Manfred is once again hinting about Sacramento's possible Major League Baseball future, Jay. We'll go over what he had to say, what it could mean for us when we come back. Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Are you feeling trapped by a timeshare you barely use? With maintenance fees piling up, calls from creditors, and the stress of mounting interest, it's time to break free. At RFA Cancellation, they specialize in legally canceling timeshares. If you've received a maintenance fee bill and don't know what to do, you're not alone. Over 2,000 people hired RFA Cancellation last year, and they're no longer paying those fees this year. Imagine starting 2025 free from collections, daily calls, and endless bills. Whether your timeshare is sitting unused or you're overwhelmed by unexpected costs, they're here to help. Call RFA Cancellation today, 800-823-1687. That's 800-823-1687. Their friendly experts will guide you through every step, ensuring a smooth and stress-free process. Don't let another year go by. Get in touch and take the first step toward freedom. RFA Cancellation, your path to financial relief.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online. I read that Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can stand, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can stand, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
The huge President's Day sale is on at Maida Chevy, Sacramento's Silverado headquarters. Save $10,250 off MSRP after rebates on new half-ton Silverado LT after rebates with over 50 in stock. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $10,250 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
I'm George Washington, and I approved this message. Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. 5 at the Southern Western 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Miniature golf has been around America since 1916, with the first course opening in Pinehurst, North Carolina, according to Links magazine. Englishman James Barber built a course in his backyard called Lilliputian. A few years later, he built a second course and called it Thistledew. Unlike today's mini golf courses, Thistledew wasn't for children. The 18-hole course was made of compacted sand and clay, making it quite difficult. Today's clown mouths or windmills were nowhere to be found, as the course featured real hazards like rocks, trees, and grass bunkers. 4 holes even required a high-lofted niblick to carry bushes and long grass. Longest hole was 71 feet, shortest was 12. Golf fanatic Thomas McCullough Fairbairn revolutionized the game in 1922. with his formulation of a suitable artificial green consisting of a mixture of cottonseed hulls, sand, oil, and dye. 100 years later, Thistle Dew has returned to its home at Pinehurst Resort, and guests can play the new Thistle Dew. Please leave your niblick at home. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
We're going to talk about Sacramento's potential Major League Baseball future beyond just this year, beyond just the next couple of years with the A's, because the commissioner had some interesting things to say about Sacramento. It's Drive Guys here. It's Whitey and Jay. Jay, I just sent you a text, by the way. I texted you a video of Pete Maravich and George Gervin playing horse.
I saw that 70 Sports YouTube text.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I don't know if the whole thing's on there, but Pete was pretty good. You know, ice, but Pete Maravich was a pretty good horse player. And I think what happened was in that tournament, he was winning, but he got sick or got hurt or something. He had to bow out, and Paul Westphal ended up winning it. But Pete was something when it came to horse.
Did you, and I know I'm dating you here, but did you have an opportunity to see Pistol get it in for real?
I think only one time I actually saw him play in person. Saw him on TV a million times.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can remember when he was in college.
Is he as great as what people make him out to be?
He was ahead of his time.
Okay.
And just don't take my word for it. Look up his highlights on YouTube. He would have been like, if he's playing now, he'd be a bigger star than Luka. Because he was a lot like Jay Will, maybe a little bigger. Just an incredible ball handler. He invented ball handling drills. And he would do things with the basketball. Anyway, if you care at all, if you don't care, who cares? But if you do care, just check some of his, I'll find some, Jay, like his top 10 highlights of his career.
Yeah.
And there was no 3-point shot when he played, not in the NBA, and he'd have had a ton. He'd have made a lot of 3-point shots.
Right.
So he was amazing.
I've seen, plenty of clips, but I just always like to ask people who actually have the opportunity to see him play. Like you said, got to see him a lot of times on television in college and in the pros while he was still with us. And I for the most part, I've always heard people say, like, dude is legendary.
Yeah.
He definitely before his time.
Huge hands, and he'd just do all kinds of crazy things with the ball.
What was his deficiencies? What would you say is his deficiencies?
He kind of wore down his health. His knee, he had knee problems. Not the greatest of defenders, maybe because he just didn't care. But he just, I'm not sure why. In the NBA, it's like the teams didn't know how to play with him or something. His teams were pretty good, but he was never on a great team till later. He was on with the Celtics, which is interesting because apparently him and Larry Bird played together, but they didn't really get along.
Yeah.
So I have to ask Jerry about that sometime because I know Jerry saw him a lot. Jerry, by the way, says as great as Maravich was, he says Jay Will was a better ball handler.
Really?
Yeah. Which when he said that, I was like, I was floored.
Yeah. We're going to have to have a conversation about that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jay Will is legit. And when you really sit down and take a look at what he's meant to the league, he's one of those guys. He doesn't have the statistics individually. And I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer, but the entertainment that he brought to the NBA is second to none, right? Not to many. And then the other part of that too is he's got a championship,
Yeah.
So when you really sit down and we're talking about the Basketball Hall of Fame and you got to bring in high school and you got to bring in college and all those good things at Florida, short time, and high school down there in West Virginia. I mean, you have to have these conversations. He's meant a lot to not only certain organizations, but to the game of basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's not a Hall of Famer, so I don't need nobody to be like, oh, Jay Will, but I'm just saying he's one of those guys, if you check the boxes, what he's brought most to the game of basketball is entertainment.
He definitely belongs in the Hall of something.
Something.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
I don't know what. Maybe they haven't invented it yet, but he should definitely be in there. Meanwhile, the commissioner, Is this your commissioner, Jay?
No,
you
this
big
ain't
man?
my commissioner.
You a big Manfred guy?
No, I'm not.
I hear you're a big Manfred guy, no?
Yeah, no. Someone lied to you, sir.
Okay. Rob Manfred toured Sutter Health Park earlier this month. When the Chronicle last Tuesday, I'm just reading here, pardon me, Susan Slester writing this, he called it a really positive visit and hinted at Sacramento's desire for an expansion team, or if the A's thing in Vegas falls through. He said, quote, this is the commissioner speaking to the San Francisco Chronicle. I think that the level of excitement in the community is really palpable. I think their desire to have Major League Baseball in the short term and in the long term is really impressive. I think the owners of the River Cats and the owners of the A's have worked very hard together to make sure that for our players, it is as close to a major league experience as it can possibly be. There's a lot of investment that was done in facilities, and the ballpark is charming. End quote. Yeah. Rob Manfred. Jay, I know you're not a big Manfred guy anymore. Seems to me you were just a short time ago. I don't know. But when he talks, the way he talks about Sacramento's desire to have Major League Baseball in the short term and in the long term, I mean, he doesn't have to say that. He at least wants us to think, and maybe he wants us to think that so we're more likely to support the team. He wants us to think we got a shot.
Well, we do.
A Major League Baseball future.
We do. You can only claim it and believe it if you see it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're blind to the fact that, Sacramento is definitely in the mix of a MLB organization, you're kidding yourself. You don't make certain moves like the city has done. You don't make certain moves like some of the different type of ownerships that are coming this way. And it really is Vivek and his people. They have the eye on the prize, Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm one to believe John Fisher is going to have to show and prove to me that he's going to pony up the money to make it to Las Vegas. I know there's certain amounts of bags out there for him, but I also understand that he's going to have to come up, meaning him and his family are going to have to come up with a lot of personal private money as well.
Mm-hmm.
I know Sachs has said they'll give him a loan of $300 million, but that's not even close to the $1.75 billion that Bally's and what their reports have said that this arena is going to, this stadium is going to cost.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Whitey.
Yeah,
Sacramento's they're in the market for something, and why not be in the market for MLB? Why not talk to Manfred? Why not talk to John Fisher? Why not have these conversations and intertwine yourself in the interworkings of what's going on in baseball? I don't want to believe it, and I don't want to say it, but I will say this. Even if it's not the A's, you should be looking for someone else down the road.
There is one specific Vegas A's question that the commissioner would not answer.
Of course not.
We'll tell you what that is when we come right back. It's the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Kyle Draper. You know I'm a big guy, right, everybody? So sometimes, even my SUV or sedan, I want a little more space. Maybe I want to take the fellas to the football game or to the basketball game. Maybe I want to go golfing. Well, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has the perfect solution. They have a Vans Fleet Center, and they understand your business needs. They understand your personal needs as well. They have a great inventory and a huge selection, and plus they have the perfect van to power your fleet, including the new fully electric e-Sprinter alongside those reliable diesel options. So if you're looking for a new van just for personal reasons or even for your business fleet, head on over to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. And get this, you can take advantage of their exclusive limited time 0% APR financing offer for up to 60 months on select models. So head down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online at mbofstockton.com and tell them Drape sent you.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
The commissioner of Major League Baseball, Jay's beloved Rob Manfred.
Stop telling these lies.
Okay, I take that back.
Okay, no, do tell the truth. No, I'm not a Manfred guy.
There aren't a lot of people right now that tell you that they were. But anyway, the commissioner speaking this week about a potential Sacramento baseball future. There's one question about Las Vegas and the A's that he would not answer. We'll tell you what that is in just a moment. But first, another Pete Maravich note. Pete Maravich, he didn't play that long. You know what's really weird about Pete Maravich? He said, and I'll find this quote, it's in a book somewhere. He said, I don't want to be one of those guys who plays 10 years, retires at age 32, and dies of a heart attack 10 years later. He said that, and that is exactly what
Seriously?
happened. Yes.
Dang.
Yes. But what I wanted to mention real quick, I talked about his three-point shooting. The only year he played with a three-point shot was his last year in the NBA, 1979-80, first year of the three-point shot in the NBA. He took 15 of them, and he made 10.
That boy firing off right there.
Yeah. 67% from the three-point line, his only year when they had it.
Man.
He could shoot a little
bit. I mean, it sounds like he was an offensive juggernaut, and again, I'm speaking from a novice point of view. I've done the research, I've looked, I've seen, many of his clips, and I've heard so many different interviews of so many people who got him to watch the play. Like, dude is just amazing. But I also like to ask, sometimes we can romanticize people who are no longer with us, or we can romanticize a person, when their career is over. So I just like to ask people who actually had the opportunity to say, like, yeah, he was great, but he ain't what people made him out to be. Sometimes you get that for different athletes, but it seems like Pistol Pete was just one of them guys.
Yeah. And you know how now you have guys like Harden and Luka, and they have the ball all the time. And Kobe was like that, and they were that way because it worked for their team. I think Pete was like that, and at the time, people didn't know how to play with guys like that. It just didn't. It's like, what are you doing? So another way in which I think he was ahead of his time. But anyway, as far as the Sacramento A's
capital A's, baby.
Susan Slusser did an interview recently this week with Rob Manfred. He talked about the level of excitement in Sacramento being palpable. Their desire to have Major League Baseball in the short term and in the long term is really impressive. I feel like I don't want to trust him today. Clearly, he's trying to encourage me. Clearly, he's trying to make me, a Sacramento baseball fan, feel like, wow, we have a shot at this. And I don't trust him, to be honest. I think that's my problem.
You shouldn't. And his tone, we have the sound, but his tone wasn't on point either. Yeah, don't trust him. Yeah.
Okay. All right. He was asked by the Chronicle, when shovels might be in the ground in the Las Vegas project. Yeah. He said that everything's on track for a 2028 opening. The question, when might shovels be in the ground on the project? He would not answer.
Of course not, because you don't know, and you don't want to sound like a fool. And he's done it before. He's put his foot in his mouth plenty of times.
Multiple sources tell the Chronicle June is the best bet for construction to begin.
Yeah, and
again, that doesn't guarantee anything. They can start digging a hole. It doesn't mean they're going to get it done.
They're still a ways away on the money. It's going to take a lot of money to get this project done.
Yeah, he needs to find a lot of investors.
Yeah, he does.
And they talk about it as if it's a matter of fact that, oh yeah, he's getting investors now.
And we haven't seen any come to the table every single day. It just makes it longer, right? And you see they hired a firm to do the research and go get investors. Well, I don't want to be in their business, but I sure don't see anything working. Matter of fact, pay me, I'll go get you an investor.
Yeah. We have an investor here. His name is Vivek Ranade.
Absolutely. See where I'm going? There it was. 707. Sacramento's not getting an MLB team. Stop. Love the positive vibes, but it ain't happening. Not enough corporate sponsors. I get that. I understand the fact of what that person of 707 said backwards, what they're saying.
Yeah.
Because if you really look at the dynamic of how baseball operates, local contracts are where the money is made for, baseball. And you look no further than what we call NBC here, and they control the Giants and the A's. I don't know what they're going to do with the A's moving forward right now. You look at the Yes Network with the Yankees, SNY with the Mets, just for example. But I'll say this, and this is something that, Whitey, you may have remembered when the Kings conversation of them leaving versus being here, and it really never panned out, is the city of Sacramento was in the fight for itself, more or less for the Kings by itself.
Mm-hmm.
The problem was when you picked up the phone and you call Stockton, who benefit from the Kings, when you pick up the phone and call, going up to 50, the Placervilles and the Shingle Springs and all those different places who benefit for, what the Kings do. When you go up north and you shoot the Chico and Red Bluff and Redding and all those folks who benefit from the Kings, and vice versa when you go towards the Bay Area, those towns and cities didn't want to put no money into the pot for the Kings. It was like, no, it's all on you, Sacramento. It's all on you, Sacramento County. It's all on you, Sacramento, the city of Sacramento. The difference, though, in baseball is this. When you remove a team that's not too far from where it's set for many years, the Kings going to Anaheim, the Kings going to Seattle, we're talking about complete different markets. And everything that I've heard and read and talked to people, sources, have said that a lot of what has tied the A's down is ballpark ratings, not putting forth a winner. If you do some of those things, there are companies, as 707 says, corporate sponsorship from Stockton, from Modesto,
from the greater
from
region,
Lake Tahoe, exactly, who are willing. Some of these casinos, as we've seen Sac Republic tied to, Sac State tied to Wilton Rancheria, they're actually open to ponying up some money. And so I don't know if that's real or not. I'm just telling you what I've heard and what you read and what you listen. And of course, we have people come on the show and who are quote unquote experts and tell us different things. The sponsorship money doesn't seem like it's going to be hurting if Sacramento is up for the running. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I heard.
Yeah. What I hear from the commissioner makes me think that he's probably playing us. I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's trying to keep us at time. You got to see through that, though, White.
Yeah.
Be positive.
So he's just trying to get us to support the team as much as we possibly can. And over the next 3 years, beyond that, he doesn't care.
No.
He might not even be the commissioner
He's
anymore.
not. He's already said he's out 29, which will be coincidentally 28. The Brewers are up and they need to figure out by 28, 29 where they're playing to. So,
yeah. It would be great. I can't believe we're at this point where the A's will be here for at least 3 years. But I'm with 707. I always say the seat of all knowledge and wisdom. I'm still not there, Jay. Where
no,
they got. I mean, how are they going to anyway? How are they going to build a stadium and all of that? But they've made progress as far as the team this year. The A's have spent a lot of money, right? They've been the talk of baseball at times this year. Literally, people are going, "Wow, they signed Severino. They're spending money." But how much money are the A's really spending? The Los Angeles Dodgers payroll for competitive balance tax purposes is expected to be around $400 million.
And that's what deferred money.
The Giants, by contrast, are expected to be under $200 million. The A's will be in the
$100 million,
$80 million range. Yeah. 80 million range. They won't be last, by the way. Miami will be much lower than that. So while the A's are spending all this money, they're just spending more money than they usually do. And they're actually required to spend some of that.
They have to hit a floor.
Yeah.
And the floor is $89 million. So
it's not a bad thing. It's just, let's not get carried away and think that they're spending money like crazy on this team.
If the biggest contract you've ever given a player is $75 million in baseball, then that lets you know you've been a cheapskate. Because this guy's making that almost a year at this point. And so, yeah, it's definitely not a big bag of money. They're doing what they have to do when it comes to, I guess, putting on a front. And we know it's all about revenue sharing. They need to hit a floor of $89 million to continue to get the $60 million that they got last year from MLB.
Yeah, that's the key. It's like, we're not going to give you any money if you're not spending at least this much.
Right.
That said, they have a chance to have a fun team this year. So
they do. Absolutely. And it's going to be rocking and rolling out there. No doubt. The first year by far is gonna. I mean, as we've seen with ticket sales, it's a hot item. It's a hot ticket to get in the city. And if they have any type of form of a competitive team, believe me, it's going to be a difficult ticket to get. I mean, you're only dealing with 14 to 16,000 seats, depending on what they add and extra and flip around and maneuver over there in West Sac. I'm excited. I have hope that 707, they sound like a Giants fan, first of all. I didn't want to call them that, or a Dodger fan. I know they sound like a Giants fan.
That's really not nice.
It sounds like a Giants fan. I'm just call. I'm on my Kevin Durant movie.
Didn't they say something on it? I have right here myself somewhere. Didn't they say love the optimism?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Well, but me calling someone a Giants fan is a bad thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
you mean it as an insult, don't you?
Absolutely. But if you're a Giants fan, you shouldn't take it as one. Real quick, I wanted to say this. Did you see this? The 916, something about coincidence, right? As random as it sounds, and I'm trying to help you out here, Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a PSA graded 1987 Fleer Ron Harper.
Wow.
Card. Don't even know what I'd sell it for, but I've got it. Well, first of all, 916, I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you a PSA graded Ron Harper is probably not as high as you might think it is.
Huh. We can talk.
Yeah, there we go. I'm putting forth, I am the bridge.
Did they
Speaking
say
of
what
the
grade is, or they said it's graded?
No, it just says graded. 916, if you listen, it's still rocking with us. 1987 Fleer Ron Harper is graded.
Okay.
Does that matter? Does that need to matter for your set right now or no?
Yeah, because I do have some of the cards in there, not all, but some of them are graded. I got some 8s, maybe a 9 in there. So that I bought, I didn't get them graded. So
they've already.
I could
been
do
bought.
that.
Yeah,
I mean, whatever. I might be interested. I don't know. Maybe not.
Maybe we'll call the card guru. Shoot a text to the card guru. I gotta holler at the card guru. He hadn't hit me back. I gotta hit the card guru and see if there is what's the price on a 1987 graded Ron Harper. We need what is graded. Even if it's a 10. What does it matter?
10?
Yeah, what does it matter?
Ooh, a little rich for my budget. I don't know. 10?
Why is that rich for your blood?
Read about garage doors a couple more times or something. Which I'd be happy to do.
Come on, man.
A 10? Woo!
86 was his rookie year, right?
I think the 87 card is his rookie card.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
But he was drafted in 86, wasn't he?
Yeah, but so it's the next year that card.
You're
right. You're right on it. You're right on it. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll look at this Ace team real quick. MLB Network just came out with a top 100 players. We have a team in baseball now. So how many of the Sacramento A's are in MLB Network's top 100? Think about that. Take a guess. We'll see what we got when we come back. Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Northwest Exteriors.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center, clearing out Wednesday night. Thursday morning, noticeably cooler with temperatures in the lower 40s. Afternoon highs in the mid-60s with a cool north breeze. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
Northwest Exteriors wants to keep you warm this winter with our $89 furnace tune-up. Trusted in Sacramento for heating and cooling systems. Book your tune-up today as part of our 30th anniversary special. Call 888-TRUST-NW or visit trustnorthwest.com.
Simply the best. Trust Northwest.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring the Honda Civic, Honda Accord, and Honda CR-V. Honda Accord wins for a record 39th time. You can see and drive all the new 2025 award-winning models at Elk Grove Honda and see why Honda cars and trucks continue to impress the critics. We are Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Did somebody say garage door? You know, your home is your castle. And a garage door, it's kind of like your drawbridge. It's really important for security and safety and convenience. And for service, there's only one place you need to go for your garage door, National Garage Door. That's their number one priority. Service is their number one priority, and that's why they've been around and doing well and satisfying customers all over since 1974. Locally owned and operated. I've known the family a long time. Installation, removal of our old door was done very quickly and efficiently, and that's the opposite of how the old door was working. I don't know if I've told you about that, but it was not very efficient, and it was not quiet. The new door is a quality Rainer brand garage door. It's great. It looks great. Whisper quiet, huge upgrade from our old door in functionality and appearance. Now, maybe you don't need a new garage door. National Garage Door is a place to call, 916-638-4554, whether you need a door replacement or repair, or even if you're not sure what you need. They are the region's BSE broken spring experts. Why would you call anybody else? It's one of the most common issues with the garage door. That spring, bang, 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 bang. They'll fix you right up. National Garage Door, ready to solve your garage door problem. New Garage Door is a great, easy way to upgrade your home roster, if you will. Whatever your garage door needs, replacement, repair, emergency service, you need National Garage Door, 916-638-4554. National Garage Door. Tell them Whitey sent you, and they'll say, who?
Way to go. You've stuck to your resolution to become a fitter you, and now those exercises that pushed you to your limits the first time around are already feeling easier. So what's next? At InShape, taking your workout to the next level can be as easy as trying something new. Take our small group training classes like boxing, rowing, and more, or set new goals with an InShape personal trainer. Then recover with a massage or the sauna, also known as the best part of the workout. We are InShape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers. T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with turbo power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
How many of baseball's top 100 players will be playing for the Sacramento A's this year? We'll take a quick peek at that. It's the Drive Guys, Jay and White. Here you go, Jay, on that Ron Harper card. I'm trying to complete a set. Ron Harper was the last card I needed. I got it yesterday, and it was kind of damaged when I got it. Hank Junk says that Ron Harper PSA 10, $300. A drop off. PSA 9, $34. PSA 8 is less than 20.
Oh yeah. See what I'm saying? I'm trying to talk you into a deal. Mm-hmm. So we got to figure this out here.
Yeah. Someone says I got a PSA graded card. Well, what is it graded? That's a kind of I'm guessing it's not a 10 See, that's how you tell people. If it was a 10, the person would say, I have a 10.
They would already said it.
Great. Yeah. Yeah.
What you think that thing is? About an 8.5?
It's like a 6.
6?
I don't know. It's very nice of whoever checked in on that. I'm just.
Were you willing to go for it?
Well, I don't want anything under 8.
Okay.
Yeah. So what is that? According to Peg Junk, we're talking
About
an 8 is
soft
like
dub.
less than 20, and 9 is $34.
Okay.
You know, that's very reasonable for a 9. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see if we can't work something out. Now,
did you see others when you bought this one?
Yes.
Did you see out there? Okay.
Yeah.
Non-graded and graded? Or
okay. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I'll be honest, I tried to hey, this is near mint. Mint, it's not graded. It was like $5 or something, 5 something. It's like, and it was not a great card. But anyway, Jay, never mind that. How about the Athletics? And how about baseball coming to Sacramento? And how about the top 100 players, in Major League Baseball right now, just off the top of your head without going through it? How many of the top 100, according to MLB Network, do you think would be on the Sacramento A's? Again, not going through this guy.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, I said 2.
2? Yeah, that'd be about where I was.
Miller for sure.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And then I'm hoping maybe Severino off a good season last year. Maybe like Zach G. You know, I say 2. Langoliers probably might sniff it 2.
Let's see what we got here, and this will not take as long as you'd think. 100 through 99, it's Sasaki, DeGrom, James Wood, Langford, Goldschmidt, Arenado, Mason Wynn, Cardinals, Dansby Swanson, Ian Happ, Brandon Nimmo. So no A's in there.
Yeah, we might really be one.
Yeah. Number 90, Lawrence Butler.
Really?
Yes.
Man, are you serious?
I'm serious.
Oh, we might have 4.
Yeah. Lawrence Butler had a great year. 2024, he was not ranked. Then it's Kerry Carpenter, Justin Seal, Bryce Miller, Wilson Contreras, Isaac Paredes, Jerickson Profar, 84.
Really?
Rise, Royce Lewis, and Mark Vientos. So now we're up to number 80. We're looking for how many?
Yeah.
Formerly Oakland, Sacramento A's. We got one already, are in the top 100. Number 80, JT Realmuto, Salvador Perez. Number 78, Mason Miller.
Only 78?
Yeah.
I thought he would be easily top 50.
Yeah. Well, it's hard for
Yeah, but he's like
closer on a bad team.
Yeah, but he's probably, everybody wants him. You know,
right.
He's like probably the best closer almost.
Devin Williams, Zach Gallen, George Kirby, Seth Lugo, Seiya Suzuki, Cody Bellinger, Tyler Glasnow. So now we're up to number 70, and we've got 2, right?
Got 2.
And no, I don't think we had any who's in there yet.
No, I haven't heard one yet.
Yeah. Oh, we got a beautiful ballpark. You can see the water.
Yeah.
Number 70.
Can't park nowhere though.
Hunter Green, Michael King, Byron Buxton, Michael Harris, Stephen Kwan, Kyle Schwarber, Shota Imanaga, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Marcus Simeon, who wanted to be in the A's, and they wanted to
didn't sign him.
Christian Yelich.
Can we get a fourth of that or something?
Should
count. Okay.
Will Smith, Cal Raleigh, Adley Rushman, Emmanuel Classe, Garrett Crochet, Dylan Cease, Riley Green, Anthony Santander, Teoscar Hernandez, Logan Gilbert. So now we're in the top 50, and we got 2 A's so far. Are there any more? Number 50 from Rockland, California, Logan Webb.
Okay.
Pete Alonso, Christian Walker, Marcel Ozuna. Number 46, Brent Rooker.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. He's showing love to the young fellas.
Yes. Now, I think that's it.
Okay.
But that's 3.
Yeah, that's one more than I thought.
50.
I can't believe Butler must be, and I love Butler. I'm just keeping it real. He had 250. He had 64 runs batted in.
He crushed the ball last year, though.
Yeah, but
good power, good pop.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue against my guy.
Framber Valdez, Max Fried, Cole Reagans, Carlos Correa, Willie Adames, Giants, number 41. So that's 2 for the Giants and 3 for the A's. Jackson Churio, Mike Trout. We're at number 38 now. Number 38 is Matt Chapman, Bregman, Blake Snell, former Giant, Trey Turner, Matt Olson, former Athletic, Austin Riley, Corbin Carroll, and Ellie De La Cruz. Have you seen much of him? He's incredible.
Ellie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's an animal.
Yeah. So the top 30, and I don't think we have any more.
Ellie De La Cruz is 31?
He's ranked number 31.
Man, where is this from?
This is MLB Network.
Really?
Yeah. Then it goes Altuve, Machado, Contreras, Jaron Duran, Garrett Cole, Corbin Burns, Jackson Merrill, Julio Rodriguez, Fernando Tatis Jr., Rafael Devers, and then you're in the top 20 now. Sale, Zach Wheeler, Ketel Marte, Corey Seager, Acuna. That's for you, Jose. Skeens, Kyle Tucker, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Bryce Harper, Tarek Skubal, and your top 10.
Tarek Skubal's 11?
Tarek Skubal.
Wow.
Yeah, he's dealing. Yeah. Gunnar Henderson, Jose Ramirez, Guardians, Freddie Freeman, Dodgers, Jordan Alvarez, Astros. Number 6, Francisco Lindor. Number 5, Mookie Betts. Number 4, Juan Soto. Bobby Witt Jr., 3. Aaron Judge, 2. And, of course, number 1, Shohei Son.
Man, there's a couple guys that's up there. I would be like, man, I don't see him top 25, top 30. I can't believe Ellie De La Cruz is not a top 25 guy.
Sure,
not
you're an infielder, right? So you have greater appreciation for what he does and how he does it.
I respect them, though, because they put 3 A's on there.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting Butler. 64 runs. I had to check his RBIs at 57. He had 18 stolen bases, batted average of 260. I mean, it must be on the upside, baby. Come on, Butler. He had 26 shots, though.
Yeah.
A lot of people pushing that. And, coming from the other side of the plate, I get it. If he can continue.
490 slugging percentage.
He did.
Yeah.
He's got to put up a little more. Played 125 games. I'm going to need a little more than 50 and 60 runs and RBIs. That's just me. Catch me around them 80s. Now we're sitting there talking. And I get it. He was playing on the Oakland A's at that time. Hopefully he progresses. He's young. I really like him. I hope the A's, can keep him for their window, that they'll be able to keep him. I love his game.
He's not going to make any money for a while.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
As I said, they'll hold him for his window.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing him a lot. He struck out 108 times. Does that bother you, Jay?
A little bit, yeah.
125 games, 108 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's got a long swing. He doesn't really shorten his swing up on anything. He is he's typical. It's long ball or nothing for the most part when it comes to him. I think he's got to shorten up his swing. He's got to be a little more plate. Have a little more discipline around the plate too. And the other thing is, and I looked, I believe he had 20. Let me triple out before I say that.
I have it right here.
How many doubles did he have? 24?
24, yeah.
Yeah, 24. 24 doubles.
Like I said, 18 steals.
Yeah.
Not stealing.
No times? Really? Speed in the feet?
Yeah.
I'd just like to see him. You know me. I'm an average guy. I like to see him hit for a little higher average than 262. I'd like to see the runs and RBIs get into the 80s.
262 up from 211 his first year.
Well, but he only played, 40-some-odd games?
Yes.
His first year? Yeah, so 125 last year, which to me, he'll probably play closer to 150 this year. You break him in and start to get him acclimated to that 162. We'll see. If he can hit 30 home runs and catch me around the 80 and 80 runs and RBIs, and I know that depends on his teammates around him. Give me 20, 25 stolen bases, bring that slugging percentage up a little bit, shorten up that swing. I think you're cooking with an all-star, brother.
All right. You like this, Jay. First half. And then we're just about done with this. I know there's a lot of numbers here, but we're excited about these guys and this guy in particular coming here. First half last year. Let's see, 64 games. He had 211 with 9 homers. Second half of the season, 61 games.
Oh, Butler was cooking.
300 batting average, 13 homers, 12 steals, 345 on base percentage, 553 slugging percentage.
Yeah, I mean, again,
lights out.
Yeah, he did his thing back half of the season. Yeah. He started off super slow. So I said, you got to get him acclimated. I like to see those numbers progress naturally. If they sit stagnant, then we kind of, we got to look at it a little deeper. But as we're moving forward, I need a little more from you to move up to be an all-star. Like, I think he has that type of ability, but we need to begin to see that, especially now when you see guys at 19 come in, Acuna and them dudes hitting 30, 40 home runs, still in 30, 40 bases. I know I'm asking for a lot, but I mean, hey, these dudes is coming in prepared right now.
Yeah, so Sacramento A's in the top 100. You got Lawrence Butler, you got Mason Miller, and you got Brent Rooker. Had a great year.
Yeah, Rooker, he's a beast with it. I thought they would flip-flop, though. I thought you would see Rooker and you'd probably see Miller. Those were the two that I thought. I like the fact that they included Butler. Huge fan of him. I know it might not sound that way. I'm just a baseball guy. I just
you got high standards.
Yeah, I do, because I think he has the ability to
be. If you didn't like him, you go,
top guy.
He's all right. Good luck. Yeah, but you want him to succeed.
Oh, yeah.
When we come back, we'll take a look at the guy who may have the most interesting basketball history of all the Sacramento Kings as we roll on here. Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
High voltage live boxing action returns to the venue on March 8th as Uppercut Promotions presents Thunder Showdown 2 with 8 big fights on the bill featuring top-level veterans and the best in up-and-coming new names. Scheduled fighters include names like cruiserweights Blake McKernan and Sean Miller. It's a night of great boxing action you won't want to miss. It's Thunder Showdown 2 coming March 8th to the venue at the Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Fight cards subject to change. See Thunder Valley website for scheduled lineup.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out.
Oh, Downy in the rinse straight.
Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
It's taste on a whole new level at Sky River Casino. With 18 elevated restaurants, bars, and lounge destinations that include SR Prime Steakhouse, 32 Brews, Dragon Boat, and The Market. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun and experience the height of hospitality. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The huge President's Day sale is on at Maida Chevy, Sacramento's Silverado headquarters. Save $10,250 off MSRP after rebates on new half-ton Silverado LT after rebates with over 50 in stock. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $10,250 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
I'm George Washington, and I approved this message. Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. 5 to the Southern Mustang 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-235-5588. That's 800-235-5588. 800-235-5588.
Only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
We've been talking a lot about the Sacramento A's, and I'll be honest, Jay, I don't know about you, I'm trying to get a sense of how excited most fans are. Obviously, you run into some fans who are very excited, but by and large, I don't know yet if it's really resonating with, sports fans in the Sacramento area at large.
Yeah, I'm not sure, and I'm not sure if it's just one of those things, new shiny toy, or is it
a novelty kind of thing?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Let's see what it is.
Yeah, just go out there for the family. It's a night out on the town, and I understand that.
Interesting question here from the The 970? Pardon me, I'm not familiar with that area code. What kind of attendance would attract a team if the A's leave? I don't know, because they could fill up the stadium every game and they still would probably be last in attendance because of capacity.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Would baseball look at that and go, wow, well, if they fill that building for every game, then you put a bigger stadium, then they're going to fill that too. I'm not sure. Obviously, if they can't fill a really small stadium, then that probably would spell doom for their chances. But as far as how many people they draw, I've wondered about that myself. I'm not sure. I think baseball would look more at all the corporate involvement and the enthusiasm. And
yeah, money is the bottom line.
Yeah.
970 is Colorado. I can't remember exactly where it's through there. I have to look that up. But, through my endeavors of being a producer for so long, I've seen that come through Colorado, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you.
Yeah. Whitey, dollars make all the sense, right? We know that. I'm not sure how baseball wants to look in the form, and maybe they don't care because it is dollars make sense, but I'm not sure how they want to look at it from this standpoint of saying, we say we're going to Vegas and it's not going to happen and we need to figure out how to get there. We don't want to look bad. And they may want to try to jump in front of the NBA, get there and get some of that money before the NBA. I'm not sure. I think when it's all said and done, it's really going to come down to a Fisher wants to pony up the money himself. And once we kind of have a better understanding if he personally and or his family is going to put the money out on the table, then I think that's when we'll know if Vegas is even an option. Like, it sounds good, but as I've told everybody, the Fisher family and ownership that own the A's have been disturbingly cheap. Like, as cheap as you can be. Now you're telling me this dude's going to pony up $750 million to $1 billion? Yeah, I got to see that to believe it.
But as far as them playing here, I know they're going to play here, but staying here, I just don't trust the commissioner. And he didn't actually say, they're going to get a team, but he clearly is suggesting it's possible. We're really impressed so far. And I'm sure some of that is actually true. But as far as trying to convince us in Sacramento that, we're really impressed by the enthusiasm. In other words, keep buying those tickets.
Yep.
Boy, it's working. You've really caught our attention, but buy more tickets.
Yeah, I'm not reading anything he's saying. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't trust him.
Believe that. Nah, please.
It can still be a good idea. I just don't trust him.
No, and you shouldn't. You should. Don't ever trust Rob Manfred, let alone any commissioner in sports. It's all about what's best for the product and the league.
Not Adam Silver?
No, I can't even trust Adam.
Really?
Yeah. Can't, man.
Okay. That brings us back to basketball. Speaking of Adam Silver, as we get ready for the second half of the Kings season, Jay, I think it's possible that when you look at this Kings roster, the most interesting guy in terms of his basketball history, there's some fascinating guys in this team for a lot of reasons, but it might actually be Markel Fultz. Markel Fultz, who was the first pick and was, just a mystery, an enigma in Philly. What happened to him? Oh, his shoulder's bad. No, it's his head. You've probably read the stories that somebody wrote in Philly that his mother was overbearing, and that was a problem for him when she was just she was a single parent who deserves a ton of credit for helping him get to the point where he is now. But a lot of uncertainty over what exactly happened to him. And now here he is, and he's back, and the Kings have him. But what do they have? I don't know. He told the Sacramento Bee, my knee was bothering me, which ended up compensating and messing up my shoulder a bit, being able to take the summer, talking about him right now, his condition now, to really rehab my knee and get my full body the way I wanted to get without having to rush anything was big for me. I'm glad I had an opportunity to do that, and now I'm able to get back on the court. He was training Monday through Friday in Los Angeles in recent months. He was getting ready for a comeback. He apparently, according to the report, he drew interest from the Clippers and the Bucks. They were keeping an eye on him, and other teams involved before he reached an agreement with the Kings after he worked out a private workout in front of Wes Wilcox and other members of the organization. So the Kings have Markel Fultz, and what does that mean? I don't think anybody knows, including him.
Yeah, I think it's a wild card. The Joker's wild, Deuces are wild.
Yeah.
Not exactly sure. This guy hadn't played all year, coming off an injury. I think he has something to prove, though, Whitey. I will say that. I think he is coming to the table with something to prove. As I said, a couple weeks or last week or so, he's playing for an NBA roster next year. And whatever that means this year, who knows? Your guess is good as mine. We know the history. You just spoken about it a little bit. Hopefully this dude is a veteran at this point. Hopefully this guy is a professional or pros pro and, doesn't bring any poison, any negative to the team, because this team can't sustain another piece of negativity.
No more drama.
Yeah. I beyond that, I have no clue what this guy's going to do.
Yeah. If you're interested at all, our buddy Nick Friedel, and we were trying to get him on, and he's got some contractual issues that may prevent him from joining us, but he wrote a really interesting piece because Nick lived in Orlando for a long time, and this was at the end of last season or the season before. Anyway, he wrote a really interesting piece on Markel Fultz. One of the things he says is that Markel Fultz was seen as a veteran on Orlando, even though he had this checkered playing career. Everybody looked up to him. They had a really young team there, and he'd been through so much. He was kind of a father figure, or at least a big brother figure, to a lot of the players on that team. So that speaks, Jay, to the fact that he doesn't figure to be a distraction, anything like that. He's had some issues, trying to figure out why he can't stay on the court, but he's never been that guy.
No, doesn't sound that way. And even if he was, it's been, we haven't heard about it. I have heard a few rumblings, like in Philadelphia. He was a young cat. He was out and about doing his thing. And so, but they did a great job of cleaning that up, and so did he, to the point to where we didn't even really hear about it. Those are just inside conversations that I've had with people over in Philadelphia.
About the stories that his mom had security cameras installed to see who he was bringing home. Have you heard all that?
Yeah, I've heard that, but I've heard, just being a youngster with money,
yeah.
out and about in the city, partying, doing his thing.
Yeah.
And so you can't blame anybody for that, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else.
You're right.
So
you're right.
I have no clue what Markel Fultz is going to bring to the table. He may not even play, for all I know. At this point, we're talking about minutes from the backcourt, and how many times have we heard over the last couple of weeks about getting minutes for Keon? Or where does Markel Fultz fit in? Unless someone is injured, and I hope it doesn't happen, I'm not sure what he brings to the table. I do know they needed to fill another roster spot. Seems like they're comfortable in the front court with Domas, Jonas, Jake, Trey, Isaac Jones. They need a little help in the backcourt, so they went with someone they thought could help them. That's all I know, Whitey. I have no clue what's going on with Markel Fultz.
He played for Orlando in the playoffs last season.
Yes.
He was just in the playoffs with them last season.
Starting at one point.
But he'd injured his knee. I think a couple of years ago, he tore his ACL, and then he was dealing with some knee issues last year. So to me, for all the questions swirling around Markel Fultz, the biggest issue right now may be that knee, because obviously a guard, he makes his living with his legs, with his speed, with his defensive ability. He was a very good defender. And I assume if the Kings signed him, obviously they think he checks out. But the health of a guard's knee, that may be his biggest issue right now. So fingers crossed. I just hope he gets to play, because I think it's an incredible story.
Well, for sure that. And also say this. If the Kings picked up a guard who's probably going to have health issues for the last 30 or 36, trying to remember exactly how many games, but let's just say 30 games. That was a bad move from the jump. I would hope that he's ready to go for the last 30 games and hopefully some playoff games. I would imagine physically he should be ready to go for the last quarter of the season. I would imagine they couldn't have done that.
Yeah, and he does fit, assuming that he can do the things that he was able to do just very recently with Orlando. He does fit some needs. Good defender, can get your team organized on the offensive end. And those are things this team could use. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Maybe the most interesting basketball player on the roster right now. When we come back, Jay, it's what the players say would fix the All-Star game, and it won't surprise anybody. I'll bet you can guess what it is. We're back with that. Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, Folsom Lake Ford. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, like America's best-selling F-Series. Check out a huge selection of Mavericks, F-150s, and Super Duty trucks, or tech-filled SUVs like Explorers and Expeditions, plus a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports, all in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with zero down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest finance rates. And Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they are my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. For 35 years and counting, come down and take a test drive today. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
It was 1879 when the first President's Day was established, and it's been a holiday ever since. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. I'm guessing when the Keys family opened the first Naturewood Home Furnishing store in 1948, a President's Day sale was not top of the mind. But the family probably celebrated the holiday with a picnic and a big slice of cherry pie. The store name Naturewood was selected to reflect the quality of the wood furniture for sale. And that focus on quality continues today with brands like FlexSteel, Trailway, Stickley, Fusion Designs, Stanton, and many, many more. The Naturewood Home Furnishings President's Day sale is the perfect time for you to find the right accent piece for your living room, a new bed for your bedroom, or to completely refurnish your entire home. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's President's Day sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
The Athletic conducted a poll. They asked NBA All-Stars what it would take to make the All-Star game better. What would it take to make them play harder? I think you can guess the number one answer. We'll get to that in just a moment here. It's Jay and it's Whitey. We've been talking a lot about the Sacramento A's and the fact that the commissioner this week implied, I think is a better word, that Sacramento definitely has a potential major league future. So what do you make of that from the 916 here on the text line? Don't be mad when they roll out that AAA team at major league prices.
Yeah.
A year ago, I would have said, yeah. Now with this roster, I'm like, I don't really have a problem with the roster. It's a fair point, but as we were saying, Jay, there's some legitimate prospects on this team. They've got some young players that I think are going to be worth watching.
Yeah, they do. And maybe they might be a year away, maybe 2. But I think they'll have an opportunity in their stay, and I'm hoping it's longer, their stay here in Sacramento to probably make the postseason once or maybe twice.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Maybe.
So you may be right, but I don't think you are right now. 916, we'll see where this goes. I saw the A's play at the end of not last year, but the year before. That team was dreadful, and this team is not that team. Butler was one of my favorites to watch last season. Really excited for the season to start, especially since I scored on some opening day tickets. Well, good for you.
Yeah, shouts out.
That's going to be, opening day is going to be enormous.
Yeah, it is. You in the building?
I don't know. I mean, will we be able to get in? I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be
It's going to be tough, huh? Yeah.
It's going to be like trying to get into In-N-Out in Vallejo on a Friday night.
With those cardboard fries? Yeah. Paper mache, baby. Paper mache fries.
916 says if you build it, they will come.
Kind of.
But you can't build it until you know they're coming.
Right.
You can't. Let's build a baseball stadium and keep our fingers crossed. By the way, did you see the renderings of the new soccer stadium?
I did. Looks beautiful.
Jake Gadon had some
It's
yesterday.
only one, but yeah, it
really does, huh?
Looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And guess what? They're building it.
Yeah.
You drive by there, it's shovels and tractors and everything else jumping up around there. I said, boy, they're not playing, huh?
And finally, from the 916, 750, the game in Portland thinks Portland has a legit chance at landing the A's. What do you think? Is that my buddy Chad Doing? Is he at that station in Portland? We'll have to talk to him. They do. I mean, again, I'm not trusting anything the commissioner says. Portland has been trying to get an MLB team for a lot longer than
Sacramento.
Vivek has.
Yeah.
Sacramento's efforts go back years, but they've
Yes.
been kind of choppy. And Portland has been one of the cities that's had a concerted effort to land a team here for a number. I think Russell Wilson was involved in it for a while.
Yeah, he was. He's got some dwellings with the Portland Timbers. So
Yeah. He was a baseball player, right?
yeah, of course. You know, everybody starts out as one. If you don't, something's wrong with you.
Yeah. By the way, if somebody asked me for advice for their kid who's going to be a quarterback, I'd say have them play baseball too. You notice that all the great quarterbacks that are baseball players, they can make
Different
all the throw
arm slots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Portland, they got a shot. Nashville's got a shot.
Louisville's got a shot.
Yeah.
Austin's got a shot.
You see the Spurs are playing a game in Austin? They're playing a couple of games in Austin coming up.
Yeah, Austin's a great city, man. It's definitely entertaining.
Yeah.
It's got a heck of a nightlife. It reminds me of Sacramento in certain aspects, you know, small, but still kind of a urban type of feel.
It's near San Antonio, right?
About an hour and some change.
Because I was reading, it reminded me of what's going on with Sacramento and the Bay Area. The thing I read said that some people are thinking that Austin and San Antonio can become kind of a super region.
Yeah.
And that's what we hear about Sacramento and the Bay Area.
Yeah, I'd say 45 minutes, no traffic to an hour. So 45 to an hour and a half. I mean, hour and 15, somewhere around. But I call it an hour. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's a lot of filling in, though. That's definitely saying, hey, listen, we need to go down to Sassoon area and build that up. And, you know, and Sassoon's built up, but there's some spots around that area you're going to have to really build into, you know, Dixon. We got to build Dixon up. And I know they're building Dixon up, but there's some spots in between Austin and San Antonio where it's like, yeah, this is middle of nowhere.
Yeah, the Spurs are going to be playing the Suns, and Kevin Durant's excited because that's where, you know, Austin, that's where he played.
Absolutely. Come on
basketball.
now.
Yeah.
Turn it up one time.
Yeah. The Athletic conducted a poll of all-stars. I think they asked 14 all-stars various questions, including, was the new all-star tournament a good idea? Yes, 12, no, 2.
Wait,
they must have been drunk.
Yes, was 12?
12 was a new All-Star tournament.
Was this before the game? This must have been before the game.
Yeah, pardon me. I paused there because I'm trying to see if based on the answers. Well, yeah, I think it was after.
After the game.
Evan Mobley. I think it was a good idea. I think it got us more engaged, more involved, and got the intensity up a little bit.
What?
Oscar Thompson, Rising Stars, Pistons. I like it. Definitely. Shay said, if you're asking where my stance is, I would love to play like a pickup game like we do in the summertime. Yeah.
12, yes. 2, no. And what was the third bracket?
That was it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
so they only asked 14 people?
Dame said, I think that's probably why they put this type of format in to kind of heighten that sense of pride and not wanting to be on the wrong end of that. All right. What is the easiest way to convince players to care about competing in the All-Star game? Survey says number one answer.
Money.
More incentives.
Of course.
Yeah.
More money.
Rule changes 1. Play for the fans got 2 votes.
Man, who said that? He walking they towing the company line. Who said that? Come on. Play for the fans.
That's funny. U.S. World Game got 2 votes. More incentives, 7 votes. Trey Young, I feel like the way to make it better is to go back to East-West and then give the winning team a very high incentive and then the losing team little to nothing. I feel like pride will kick in.
You better believe it. Pride for your bonus, for that check.
And I think this is Norman Powell, who was not even in the All-Star game, doing it for the fans.
Oh, come on, Norman.
This is what this whole weekend's about. They support us throughout the season, and they're coming out here to see the best of the best compete against each other. I think that's when the All-Star game was in its prime, you know, when it was East and West. It was simple. They were competing. They're getting after it. That's what the fans want to see.
So not only is Norman towing the company line for the fans because he knows he needs the fans to vote for him next year.
Maybe that's
the second part. The second part of it is he's not even an all-star. We're taking that into consideration on this panel.
You don't even have a vote, sir.
Oh man.
Yeah.
This
Darius
is
Garland, $1 million per player.
Absolutely. Here it was. Speak the real. I respect it if you speak the real.
Yeah. So those are some of the answers to those questions. Yeah. For the fans.
For the fans. Did it say who else beside Norman Powell said that for the fans?
I don't know who the other one was. Okay. It was only 2.
Yeah.
Should a regulation NBA game be reduced to 40 minutes? You know, that's something the commissioners talked about. Yes, no. Yes, 0.
Right.
No, 14. Thank goodness. Yes,
there
0,
were a
no,
bunch of
14.
There were a bunch of guys who said that playing to 40 felt short, and maybe they could have did 50 and or 60. And I'm with them. We complained last year about 200 points. 40 points was nothing.
Right.
They were getting 40 points in in 10 minutes, it felt like. And beside the Rising Stars, the G League, the Rising Stars team that kind of pushed, what was it? Kenny, it was Chuck and Kenny, right?
Yeah.
That played the first part. So beside the first game where the Rising Stars kind of pushed the other team a little bit, I didn't really see any type of initiative to go hard. I've heard a couple people say Wembanyama went hard. It's just like, I think you just running up and down the court and easy dunks.
He, by the way, says the way to make it more exciting is us against the world, U.S. against the world. He says,
well, he's just coming off the
I
Olympic
would play
feeling.
very hard if we do that.
Doubt it. Doubt it. Because, again, you're not talking about country. You play for your country. You play for your country. You play for your country. It's all the different countries versus the U.S.
Yeah, but there's a precedent for that. You're right, but they do that in the isn't it the Ryder Cup, like
Yes.
Europe versus the
Yes.
U.S. So
But that's
maybe.
I mean, we're talking about a hobby. It's not even a sport.
Yeah.
So I'm up.
Yeah. Did you see what happened to Tiger last
TGIF or
night playing golf?
TGF? What's the name of that league?
The Techno Golf League?
Yeah.
Did you see what Tiger did
No,
last night?
man, I didn't
Okay,
see
we'll
that.
tell you about that also, how NBA players answered the question, is it time to change the rules to impact the three-point shot? It's coming up next year on Sacktown Sports.
Whitey here, reminding you that not all grills are created equal and every detail matters. Check out the new Napoleon Prestige and Rogue models and see the difference a Napoleon makes. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Complete with a lifetime warranty and premium stainless steel, boasting absolute quality. Napoleon knows that the smallest details add up to make a big difference when curating your perfect grilling experience. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper. As the proud sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew, Alsco Uniforms offers certified hygienically clean lab coats, scrubs, bed linens, towels, floor mats, and an array of mops tailored for your healthcare facility. Our services include convenient delivery to your doorstep. Leading the way in healthcare laundry services in Northern California, discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's alsco.com.
Celebrate Lunar New Year every week in February during the $800,000 Lucky Red Envelope drawing at Sky River Casino. Earn entries daily just by playing your favorite slots and table games with your rewards card. Plus, swipe at our promotional kiosk for a free daily entry. On select Sundays and Fridays, earn 100 bonus entries when you hit 100 tier credits. Join us every Saturday night in February, where every red envelope could be your ticket to $25,000 cash. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Did you see this? As Jay Leno would say, you see this in the paper last night in the Techno Golf League. Jay's not a big fan of the Techno Golf League.
Let alone golf.
Uh-huh. I didn't watch it last night when I got home, but I was watching highlights, and they showed this.
What?
So,
Where you see highlights of the Techno Golf League at?
It was on Sports Center.
What?
Yeah.
That's where they're down to?
Well, because that's an ESPN thing, so they're and the big highlights. Here we go.
Oh, I didn't know ESPN was behind it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's Jupiter Golf Club playing New York. So Tiger hits his tee shot, and it's all the simulation where you see the big screen, and then so he's hitting his approach, and the whole thing is so weird. Yeah. And he goes up and he asks for the distance, and it's 199 yards in. Which remember, you when you're really playing golf, you can see how far it is. And this, it's a little harder to tell because it's a sim. And so the caddy, and I guess caddies do this.
Come on. They had caddies?
Yeah. They said 99 and they meant 199.
Okay.
And they do that because it's obvious it's not 99. So it's like 99. So like, oh, 99. It's 199, but he thinks 99. So he takes his pitching wedge and he fluffs like 99 yards and he had 200 yards to go. And his teammates started cracking up. And he goes, I thought you said it was 99. And they're just laughing. He goes, oh, it's one of the most embarrassing things in my life.
Oh, my gosh.
That was the highlight.
That was the highlight of the competition?
Yeah.
Did they make the cut? Did Team Jupiter make the cut?
I think they're below the cut line.
Ooh.
Yeah. They have the standings, and was it 6 teams or 8 teams?
I think
whatever.
it was 4.
4 make it.
The cut?
They're going to have to trade him to a team that's going to make the playoffs because that's the only reason people watch is to see Tiger.
They hit a ball on a simulated course?
Yeah, and then they have the green, which they actually putt on and chip onto. And then to make it different, they spin it so it gives you a different angle in.
What do you mean? They actually spin the floor?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
It actually rotates.
You sure know a lot about this, Whitey, for you not to be interested in this.
Yeah, somebody told me that. Somebody told me that.
So the whole placement, does it change per day? Even though they're spinning the floor?
I think it might change per hole. I haven't watched that much of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then you have the stands and you have people sitting there because it's an indoor facility. And they were supposed to start this like a year earlier, but there was a huge storm there in Orlando, which I think is where it is. And it tore the roof off tear the roof off the sucker.
Yeah.
And then they had to rebuild it and start over. And now they're playing. And I don't know how it's gone. I think they had good ratings for one of them. When Tiger plays, I think they do okay, but yeah. So that's what they do. It's weird. Hitting into the simulator. You can also throw a flag and challenge the other team. You can press them. It's like double points or something, but I don't know.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
And I already know the golf folks are coming after me. You got to be a desperate type of cat to be watching the Techno Golf League.
You may be right.
Seriously, though.
I don't
like,
think.
Just go out and play. Go watch. Do it. Is the PGA? I mean, there's nothing else going on for you to not watch the Techno Golf League.
It's more fun than regular golf. They're not as serious. So I have to admit, I've kind of been curious about it.
Oh, why you falling into it, man?
I'm not hooked. They don't have me hooked yet.
You could be pricing out your cards or something at this point. Anything is doing your research on jumping out of a plane.
I was watching what's Van Pelt.
Right, Scotty Van Pelt.
And they showed the highlights. So what am I supposed to do? It's like I'm not gonna
turn
off. Yeah. I did not go home and watch it last night. So okay, I'm just curious.
Man,
That's what I'm curious about it.
The Techno Golf League.
And I think him and is it Rory? Seriously, Jay, they've invested a ton of money in this. And I think they're probably going to lose a ton of money on this, but we'll see.
I'm gonna have to do a little. Pull it up. Do you know what they put into it?
I can get that for you.
Okay, I could do it. No, I just see if you had it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really get the point of doing watching this.
I think they're trying to meld golf, make it a little more current and a little more hip a little more fan friendly, and they probably will fail. But I appreciate the effort.
Yeah.
That's not what golf is.
No, it's not. And golf is definitely one of those hobbies because it's not a sport. It's a hobby, just like baseball. People talk about baseball, and I've defended it for plenty of times, and for a long time about how slow the game is, and meticulous and things like that. If golf is even worse.
Golf is very difficult.
Yes.
And it's really expensive, and it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, you're not lying. I remember asking you guys, like, what's the basic buy-in for clubs?
Yeah, it's a little pricey. Yeah. But it's a really fun game. I'm not bad-mouthing it. I'm just talking about why it's not more popular with more people.
Because it's expensive?
It's expensive, and it's really hard, too. It's like,
is it though? Like,
yes.
I've heard it all the time. Like, golf is super hard. And most people always say you play against yourself and or the course.
It's really, there's some great baseball players, Jay, like Ty Cobb hated golf because he's a great baseball player and he could not play golf. Couldn't hit the ball straight, I guess.
What makes it hard? You've played it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
What makes it harder than, say, for you, basketball or football or the big three?
Because the swing is getting the club face square,
and
there's so many things that can go wrong. And if you give someone a golf club and you put a golf ball down in front of them and say, go hit it, almost everything that they're going to do intuitively is wrong. It's like so counterintuitive. It's like, nope. You're overswinging. Nope, you're trying to lift the ball in the air. It's really tricky.
It looks uncomfortable.
Yeah.
For me, I've always said, why can't you just hit a ball a little more naturally?
Yeah. See, I've been for years, Jay.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say this because someone's going to take this idea. I've had this idea for
Don't
some
say it.
called
Don't say it.
The Fun Club. And what it is some club where you go out. It doesn't matter if you've never hit a golf ball in your life. You could take this sucker and wail away. It won't be USGA approved, but it'll be fun.
Right. That's what you want it to be.
Yeah.
And I think if you ask, the likes of Tom Morton and those guys that's over there, Hagen Oaks and, friends of the show and friends of the station, I would imagine, I hear them talk about it. I hear Frank LaRosa, I hear Scott Marsh and them talk about, they want it to be fun. And I've always said for golf, for me, number one, it looks uncomfortable. It doesn't look like a natural swing. You have to do so many things.
It's
keep
not
your
a
elbow,
baseball
do your
swing,
shoulder
yeah,
blades.
right.
It's like, man, that looks uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I can't just go up there and hit the ball. And I know it sounds crazy. I know people are listening like, Jay, you're out of your mind. But I'm just saying, as a novice, not even a novice, as someone that I've never even tried to play golf. I've hit a couple balls, on a driving range. And
How'd you do?
Okay. Like it wasn't, people like, oh man, you should take it up. You're a natural, or, you play baseball. Like I've heard people correlate me playing baseball to golf. And I'm like, no, it's not even close to being the same.
If you played and you hit one good shot, like an approach or something, you'd probably be hooked.
Nah, I doubt it.
It gets you that way. You could play around. You're like, oh, this is the worst time I've ever had. You hit one pure shot, within 3 feet. And you're like, I got it. This is a great game.
Yeah, see, I don't know, man. Like I said, I've hit balls off the driving range and I've hit them decently and hard, all kind of ways that I guess people are like, okay, that's pretty good. That's That's decent. I'm like,
Yeah.
I ain't getting nothing from it.
Yeah.
There was nothing for me.
The thing is, you go to driving range. Let's say you hit 10 shots. You're going to
Sure.
hit more than that. You hit 10, and let's say 6 of them are like pure.
Okay.
You don't worry about the other 4.
Meaning you hit it.
Yeah, like right down
right
the
on the
middle.
spot. Okay.
You don't even think about the other 4. You go, I'm doing pretty good. But if you're actually playing, any one of those 4 can totally ruin your whole day.
Your whole day or your whole round?
Your whole round.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Any one of them, you're like, you slice one and yeah. So it's tricky. It's hard. And sometimes I think maybe we don't have enough appreciation for things that are a little harder to do. It's one of the reasons why baseball is not as popular as it used to be.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I can't argue that point.
Here is one of the questions for NBA All-Stars and others. We're finding out it wasn't just the All-Stars who participated. Should the NBA make a rule change to impact three-pointers, like moving the line or introducing a 4-point shot? First of all, Jay, what say you? Should the NBA make a rule change to impact three-pointers, moving the line, or introducing a 4-point shot?
No, just keep it the way it is.
Yes. 4.
Oh, man, come on.
No. 7.
Yeah.
Keontae George, that's messing with the game too much. There's no need to mess with the game of basketball, this beautiful game that we play. Norman Powell, who remembers, says the way to make the game more interesting is to play for the fans.
Play for the fans, baby.
I think once you start to change different things you have been implementing for so long, you kind of lose the origin of what the game meant. He must have had someone answering for him.
Sound like a PR. You know what? Cindy, go answer those.
Yeah. Can you answer these questions? I don't care.
Yeah, just put anything down you want. Right?
Yeah.
Just text it to me. I'll text it to my folks. They'll send it back. I'll send it to you.
Darius Garland, I'd introduce a 4-point shot,
Oh,
just a
come
couple feet back, not too far.
Rock and jock. We get to rock and jock games and celebrity games and sprite shots and all. Like, nah.
I
keep
think
it where
that,
it's at.
You know, we talked about this yesterday in regards to the All-Star game itself. People, it's not perfect, but is it really a big problem? You know, they'll tinker with it. We have it, we complain, then we move on and forget about it.
Yeah.
This whole thing about the 3-point shot, I don't think that's as big a problem as people are making.
I don't think so either. It's one of those things where what have you done for me lately? It is one of the things that's under the microscope more than ever right now for the NBA because it's so overwhelmingly about 3-point shots. We hear the statisticians, we hear the analytics people always talk about threes, and if you shoot more threes, you can beat a team who shoots more twos. And it's just so lopsided now. The teeter-totter has geared towards that side of shooting the 3 versus playing mid-range game, going in the paint, post-up type situation. So it's just a high conversation right now, Whitey. It's just one of them things people love to talk about. And, excuse me, just like we were talking about the All-Star situation, it don't need to be changed. At this point, let the NBA do what the hell they want to do when it comes to the All-Star game. We don't necessarily have to argue about changing the All-Star game every single year. It's not going to change. You'll see a couple format changes. Guys are still going to come in and do nothing. They make too much money, man.
When you have guys who aren't making threes, it's not fun to watch. That's true of any sport where it's not being played well, whatever the sport. Even football, everybody loves football. No one ever says a bad thing about football.
Right.
When you have like 2 bad teams and they're just, going nowhere and they're punting back and forth, that's hard to watch. But when you have 2 teams and they're shooting a lot of threes and they're making them, and you have a guy, a great shooter, fill in the blank, there's a lot of them, and they're making threes and it's a close game, that is really exciting to me.
Yes.
That is fun to watch.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, have you seen, I haven't seen it yet, was it called Country of Gold, the new
I've heard about
Netflix situation?
Yeah.
And come on, the way Steph Curry was bombing, and that's probably not the proper word, especially when we're talking about talking about countries. The way Steph Curry was shooting the ball from beyond the arc.
When everyone knows that's what he's trying to do.
It was just over the top exciting. It's something that you all have to tune in. And no matter how many times we've seen it, no matter how many times we've heard about it, no matter how many times we see Steph Curry shoot the ball, turn away, shoot it from half court, shoot it from, as Drake say, from Folsom, all these different things that Steph Curry and or other players do. Has he said that?
No, I'm trying to get him to say it.
Real Vista.
Yeah.
Brentwood, like he's got to come off with some of the some smaller cities, but yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, when guys are making threes, it's exciting, and guys are making threes at a much higher percentage than they ever have before.
Let me say this real quick before we go to break. See, this is what golfers, guys like Alan Stiles, Stretchy B.
Is Styles coming after you again?
No, well, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Matt Ryan was in attendance when Tiger missed that shot. You would have thought it was the Masters, meaning I think the shot that you were talking about with Tiger. And then he's like, but I'm like, Whitey, I don't watch either. Laugh out loud, which is, get it. Like, I get it. If you're a golf guy, totally understand. But that doesn't mean you don't have better things to do than watch a simulated golf game. Especially Allen, big time. You're a father, brand new husband. Go get it in. Work on the injury.
There's some about when you're a father. When you become a father, all of a sudden you find you're watching a lot more golf. I don't know what it is.
Not me. I've been a father for 14 years as of November last month, and I'm not watching not a lick of golf.
We got to get you out there. We got to get you skydiving.
Yeah, that's a hard pass.
Ball tournament.
I'm with that. I can deal with that. Allen also says a baseball swing hurts your golf swing. That's interesting.
Yes, no, they're not the same at all.
They're not even close.
And it's frustrating.
Dang.
You know, because especially you got that train, you got your swing grooved.
Yeah.
You're out there like shanking it like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Oh, it's very aggravating. Yeah.
Why play then? Why play an aggravating game?
Because you have to master. That's it. You're playing against yourself until you get to really high level and you're beating everybody else. It's like you just have to learn to do it and overcome all your frustrations. That's for me anyway. One team owner's very interesting answer to the question, what is your job? Very interesting when you think about what we expect from our teams as fans, and we'll look at that when we come right back. I'm glad Alan's with us today on Sacktown Sports.
Buy 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic Motor Oil and get a $15 gift card after rebate, plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
The huge President's Day sale is on at Maida Chevy, Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Save $10,250 off MSRP after rebates on new half-ton Silverado LT after rebates with over 50 in stock. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $10,250 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
I'm George Washington, and I approved this message. Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. 5 to the Southern Restaurant 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
Congratulations on taking the first step, lift, and run to a fitter you. Your next challenge? Keeping the momentum going. At InShape Fitness, we have everything you need to keep all those reps from getting repetitious. From more studio classes than you can kick up your heels at, to our turf and functional areas. If InShape had a middle name, it would be there's more than one way to tone a muscle, which is a bit of a mouthful. So we usually leave that out when we introduce ourselves. We are InShape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
We like
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
All right, look, we might have gotten a little carried away there. You are in a golf-free zone, okay? So don't worry about it. We're not going to talk about that game.
Leave it up to you and Alan. Y'all been talking golf and watching it and on the tuck.
I don't know if that's really golf what we watched last night. But anyway, we're done with that. The NBA resuming tonight with Jay's beloved. And I kid Jay about he likes this guy or that guy. He does really like the Charlotte Hornets, right? They're not your beloved team. But
I got love for him. Absolutely.
Taking on the Lakers. So Luka playing, LeBron. We don't know. What do you think, Jay? What do you think, Dr. J?
I don't think he plays.
Dr. J.
Yeah. Stretchy B, I don't think LeBron plays today.
Mm-hmm. That would be good for the Kings, right? We need all
absolutely,
ahead of the Kings to lose.
Everybody in the West take a loss every single night.
Mm-hmm. And then, as you know, the Kings back at it on Friday against the Warriors, a huge game with the two teams tied 28-27. Kings currently have the tiebreaker. So those are really emotional games now, especially because, we've been Drapes and I think you too, Jay, we've been laying it on the Bay Area people pretty good over the last couple of games.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll have and actually, I want to go check friend of the show, Dave McMenamin. LeBron James' left ankle has been upgraded to available tonight. The Lakers say that was about 20 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
I figured I better check it before I give some thought on it.
Mm-hmm. Now,
well, there it was.
Is that game on anything that we're able to see? And
they pushed that thing to national.
It is not.
Got to be a
League Pass.
Got to be a Spectrum, aka League Pass type of guy or gal.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of this answer? This was the owner of the Brewers. His name is Tony Atanasio. Let me make sure I have his name right. But anyway, he was asked, "What's your job?" And this is what he said, according to Bob Nightingale of USA Today. Maybe it's Mark Atanasio, owner of the Brewers. "What's your job?" He said, "Is my job to win a World Series, or is my job to provide a summer of entertainment and passion and a way for families to come together?" First of all, answering a question with a question, it makes me suspicious. But you see that? Is it to win a World Series, or is it to provide a summer of entertainment and passion and a way for families to come together? Now, the Brewers have been very competitive, but they've never won a World Series.
Can it be a combination of both?
Ideally, but can you really do both? I mentioned this because this kind of gets back to me through the back door to what a lot of people are wondering about the Kings. Like, are you trying to win a championship, or are you trying to put a good product on the court that's just going to entertain people and keep everybody, involved?
Yeah. Maybe you can do both, but you have to do a good job at creating both environments.
Yeah.
Because I think if you are I would imagine, I haven't been in this position too many times when it comes to basketball, but as far as football, I'm entertained when the 49ers are good, and they're also trying to win a championship. And I think you can do both. More times than not, you're not entertained by teams that aren't good. If you have a losing record like this year, I wasn't entertained by the 49ers. Not at all. There were plenty of weeks I felt myself not being entertained. So I think maybe the best of the best can do both. But I think if you're putting your foot in the sand and say, you're making me choose, that's a problem.
Look at this. This is from foxnews.com.
Okay.
This same story. The headline is Brewers owner poses shocking question about what his job is. Mark Atanasio pondered if his job was actually winning a World Series. This is only shocking if there are a number of fans, as that story suggests there are, a lot of fans who just assume my owner's job is to win a World Series. Is it Vivek's job? Is it the job of the Kings to win an NBA championship? Is that what they owe Kings fans? And by the way, Vivek has nothing to do with this story. This is Mark Atanasio making that quote.
But it's a great question, because it makes you think. You kind of step out of your fandom and you step into a business owner, or you step into, a lead position. It's interesting, Whitey, because as a fan, I'm like, I don't really care about what's in your money. And I mean, what's in your pocket and your money. And I consistently talk about that on our show quite a bit. It's like, I don't really care about aprons and all that stuff. These dudes are billionaires. What too many times I think we focus on, well, this cap and that. And I get the fact that it can hamstring you in certain instances, but these dudes got all the money in the world. They can go well above that if they want to.
But as you said, I think it was just yesterday you pointed out, it's true with the new rules now. They've made it so in some cases, and I don't think the Kings are anywhere near this yet, but in some cases, you cannot spend more money.
Yes.
They've made it so all right, if your payroll is too high and second aprons and things, you start losing the ability to sign other players, which has been
down the road, right?
And there's even, I believe, rules in place where you can lose draft picks and things.
Right.
So they are putting governors on how much you could spend now, but the Kings are nowhere near that.
But I guess what I'm really saying is this: spend as much money as you possibly can every single year to win a championship. Owners don't operate that way. And that's where when it's really all said and done, that's what I mean when I come to the point of we have fans who are consistently worried about, oh man, he makes 1.2 million. And if we take this away and does, who cares? It's not your money. If it was your money, then I'd sit down and entertain your conversation. Now, with an educated conversation behind it, with an educated opinion behind it, does it behoove you to go out and spend $400 million every single year as an owner? No, absolutely not. I get that point. But I think there's too many fans who are hung up on the business part of the game where it don't really, as we've been shown, and I think that's what you're proposing to me is, as an owner, are they really looking at trying to win a championship, or is it really about their portfolio, their business, the money, the bottom line? And I think it crosses. There's a gray area in many different organizations and throughout many different leagues. I find it interesting how many fans want to play cap GM so much. It's like, it's not your change. It ain't your paper. It ain't your dollar. Don't worry about it.
Right. To me, it's not just as simple as you pay a lot of money to have a shot at a championship, or you pay less and maybe you're competitive. Because for a lot of teams, you have to think, let's say we wanted to tear this whole thing down and make a run at a championship if we rebuild and we draft properly. Not only are you saying that you're tearing things down, and you're saying that for the next 4 years, maybe somewhere in there, you're not going to be very good. And you're going to, that's going to be costly. People are not going to be coming and sampling your product. It's not going to be a very good product. So that you take a business hit on that too, especially given that there's no guarantee it works. Doesn't mean just because you get rid of everybody and you can buy a lot of draft picks that, oh, we're going to hit on all our picks, and then in 5 years, boom, here we are, we're great again. Just look at the process. Right. The Sixers never did win anything.
Nope.
So it's not just a matter of, are you trying to win a championship or not? I understand the point of trying to be competitive every year. It makes sense. We try to be competitive every year. Maybe 1 year you get lucky. It's just the fact of the matter is that rarely works in terms of winning a championship.
Meaning spending as much money as possible?
Just staying we want to be good every year. We're going to do what we can to be good every year, build on our core and have good players. And then we get in the postseason. Who knows? In basketball, that's not how you win a championship.
No, it takes skill. And even if you spend, $400 million on, and we've seen it, people talk about buying championships. Brian Windhorst has accused the Warriors for many years of buying a championship. I'll be the first one to say, man, look at the Dodgers.
People in the Bay Area, by the way, went nuts when he said that.
Yeah, I know, as they should, because it takes skill, and that's what I'm getting to. You have to get lucky, and it takes skill, and that's where I'll accept the argument to what people say. Hey, Jay, I'm not all about spending every single penny or dollar or dime that my owner has to win a championship just because of what you said, Whitey. It doesn't guarantee you a championship.
It doesn't.
Doesn't guarantee you winning, doesn't guarantee you a winning season, because health and everything else plays a part of it. But I don't know the statistics, and maybe I need to look this up. How often does someone who is in the middle or the bottom of payroll and or expenses paid, their budget, how many times do those guys win the championships?
They don't win championships. If you go back to Moneyball,
right?
The Rays were, every year they were perennially, pretty good. The A's, the Moneyball A's, but they didn't win championships.
Nothing.
It's like Billy says, my bleep doesn't work in the playoffs.
Right.
And I think what we're talking about here, we have in baseball right now, both ends of the spectrum. You have the Dodgers who are just spend, and they do everything right also, and they have young prospects, and they've won one championship, and they look poised to potentially win more. And then you also have our beloved A's, who for years have just been not even trying to win. Right?
Right.
They've been trying to spend just enough where we can continue to get money
to receive
from
money.
the other teams.
Right.
And now it looks like maybe they're going to be more competitive. But for years, those are the two opposites.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And does that equate to entertaining for you? Either one?
If I were a Dodger fan, I would love it. And I don't like the Dodgers, but I commend them for, trying to win a championship and spending money to get good players to win. I don't like it when they do it, but how can you blame them? That's what all the teams are supposed to be doing.
And to me, that equates to being entertaining.
Yeah.
If you are the Tampa Bay Rays and the A's, a lot of times if you're not a fan of that team, you go into the season ho humming. You're like, ho hum. It doesn't matter. They're not going to do anything.
Right.
I'm not even going to allow this to even try to entertain me, because odds are they're not going to be good. It's not going to be entertaining. I'm not going to go to the game. I'm not going to turn it on. But you look at the Dodgers and the Red Sox and the Yankees and the Mets and the Rangers and a bunch of teams who consistently put their butt where they believe in.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, they're entertaining because they have some of the top players in the world.
Jimmy Martini, do you guys want a participation trophy? Good Lord.
Not me. But I think that's the question I'm hearing from you in this conversation. But no, I'm not. Please.
I would love to see the Kings win a championship. Would I want to see the Kings right now tear it all down and try to go through a total rebuild in the hopes of ending up where OKC is, something like that? I don't think I'd want to see them do that right now.
No.
Because for an extended period, 3-4 years, maybe more, it would be really, really dreary around here. I don't want to go through that right now. All right, when we come back, Jay, if we can find someone who will take you on Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz, if we can find an opponent for you, it's coming up next on Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center, clearing out Wednesday night. Thursday morning, noticeably cooler with temperatures in the lower 40s. Afternoon highs in the mid-60s with a cool north breeze. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
There's only one place where you'll find thousands of top brand vehicles and a friendly staff. Find the perfect ride tailored to fit your budget and save even more when you shop the largest selection of certified and pre-owned vehicles online at RosevilleAutomall.com. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business. Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it and will beat any print quote. Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs. No problem. I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens. Totally. I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing. I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Henceforth, 5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Ah, there's nothing quite as serene and beautiful as our Sacramento rivers. It's something we can all take pride in.
But just one piece of litter can ruin the picture. I'm Alan Stiles from Sacktown Sports. Let's work together to keep our community beautiful and make Sacramento litter-free. Clean rivers don't just mean beauty. They mean healthy fish, safe swimming, and a vibrant ecosystem. So remember, be river-friendly. Every little action makes a huge impact. Visit BeRiverFriendly.net now to be a part of the difference.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
Update on that game tonight between the Lakers and the Charlotte Hornets from Mark Medina. He reports that Mark Williams plans to suit up for the Hornets game against the Lakers. Hornets coach Charles Lee predicted that his return will be seamless after the Lakers rescinded the trade. So there you go. Everybody, one big happy family. One of the weirdest things about that trade deadline, the rescinded trade. Strange trade deadline. But it looks like LeBron is miraculously cured, and Luke is supposed to play tonight. Just wish that game was on something besides League Pass.
Yeah, save you for watching the Techno Golf League, huh?
Techno Golf League was on last night today. Come on.
It's not an every night thing. They don't play back-to-backs or what in golf?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody who loves golf got to explain to me why they're not playing back-to-backs.
I'll tell you what, here, if you want to take on Jay in the Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz, give us a call. If not, all good. Jay, have you seen this mansion that has the sneaker museum in it?
Yeah, I have. Need to see it in person.
It's in Scottsdale, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The AZ.
Mm-hmm.
Are you intrigued?
Well, I was just wondering what you thought of it. I saw the room, and it's a mansion in Scottsdale, and I'm looking for the details there. There's a room where they have, what is it, like 3,000 pairs of Jordans, I think, in there. A special room with display cases. It looks like a museum quality display, and there's a goal in there, a basket, and then the Jumpman logo. And it just looked to me, the room itself looked kind of claustrophobic, but it's interesting.
There's a bunch of things in there.
Yeah.
Basically what you're saying.
It's for sale. So you could buy that house. You get that Jordan mansion.
290 pair of sneakers, J's in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The property's called the Jordan Room.
Mm-hmm.
Museum quality display of 290 Michael Jordan sneakers. The shelves can hold up to 325 pairs, and the display was crafted with $300K of meticulous detail, according to the Zillow listing.
Yeah, $300,000 custom sneaker room. I know there's the three in there somewhere. And the full-size basketball court being part of this mansion that has hit the market for, there you go, Jay. We pool our resources, $23.5 million.
You got that?
It also has
need a few more garage reads, huh?
Yes. Has a basketball court in there, scoreboard, locker room, private parking, stadium seating. I was like, I don't know. Wow, look at that gym. Regulation size basketball court, 15 feet below the ground.
Yeah.
That is nice. I believe it also, yes, there it is. It has a 9-hole putting green outside.
Oh, yeah.
And inside there's a golf simulator.
I don't want it.
Boom!
Yeah, I don't want it.
I'm in.
I'm passing.
I'm going to make an offer.
Where you coming in? You coming in a little low or what?
I'm going to come in a little low.
Okay. Negotiate.
Like 500,000. Just see.
A little lower? Yeah. What they want, 23.5?
They want 23.5.
As your real estate agent, as your agent, I think you
I'm going to come in at 460,000. See, I don't think they're getting a lot of interest. I think I could get a good price.
Yeah, you're a little bit off there, sir. I would advise you not to go with that offer. I did see it was something I'm looking for it. Oh yeah, it was in the ESPN. According to the listing, more than 60 NBA players have visited the estate, including Kobe, CP3, Dame Dollar, and Markel Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
If those are the 60, and you name, and those are some good 60, but then Markel Bridges brings up the rear, no disrespect to Markel. Who do you think the other 54 were? Or 56?
Yeah, Norman Powell, I'm sure, was one of them. This basketball court is 15 feet below the ground.
Man, you got it, dude. Come on.
See, there's something about this place. That room, that's a beautiful display, but it makes me claustrophobic. Okay, let's go play basketball. 15 feet underground.
Right.
I don't know. My offer's down to 350. That's my opening offer. Oh, you'll see, Jay. They'll come back. They'll drop their price, and then we'll start to really negotiate.
All right, if you say so. I think
how much would you have to pay just for staff to take care of something like that?
People forget about those things. You know, the electricity, and I've asked this question to a couple of people, like players, celebrities, things like that, who have just astronomical large, an astronomical large mansion
and properties.
People, they're like, dude, you wouldn't even imagine what the bills are on these type of places.
Mm-hmm.
Like the landscaping bills, thousands of dollars.
This at least it's in the desert, right? So there's not that much stuff that grows there. Obviously, it's got to be maintained, but it's not like a garden or anything. By the way, this also has a separate 1,500 square foot guest house with 2 bedrooms. I'll just buy that.
Yeah.
Can I buy that and still
for the 430?
use the court?
For the 430? I don't know, man. You might a little Jack and Jill.
Complete with its own entrance and amenities.
Yeah. You buy the back house, maybe you get a little entrance to the Jordan room.
Mm-hmm. I think with the back house, it comes with like it's just a shoe rack with Converse on it. It's not the Jordan room, but it's the Chuck Taylor.
The Chuck Taylor exhibit.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for being with us today. We're back with you tomorrow, and then Drafe's back with us on Friday from the arena. Stick around because we've got, speaking of Jay's favorite game, Golf to Go is next on Sacktown Sports.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo.